take away.
Get up, wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for midnight sets in the morning. The gang is ready to go, and it's time for the show. It's time for midnight sets in the morning.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Midnight Sedge in the Morning. It is Monday. Football season is over. It definitely came home to Spain. Congratulations. Congratulations to Argentina for being the runner-ups. Now, anyone British, I have to wonder, for a good third place, does that count as football coming home? Is the 60 years of hurt now over? Let me know in the comments. Meanwhile, welcome, Scribe Light. It's always a pleasure to see you here.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a good weekend and having a fabulous Monday so far. And hello, Andre, Chris, and Paul.
Yeah, indeed. Speaking of, also, welcome to the rest of the panel so far. That counts, Mr. Paul Chatto. How's it going?
Hello.
Out in the sunny Canadian wilderness.
That's right. Well, I'm at our
Ooh,
Yeah, that's some
Backyard
wilderness right there.
experience.
It's cool and everything.
That's right.
Chateau,
well, we have,
Chateau.
we have 3 days of summer here in Canada, so I'm enjoying it.
I love it. It's
Brilliant.
beautiful.
It's not like it's Arizona or not, but it's wonderful to be here. I would not want to spend my valuable time with anybody else but you guys.
Oh, we do appreciate it. That makes us feel honored, and we're, of course, glad to have you here. And we are equally glad to have Mr. Chris Brawley here. How's it going?
Hello, folks. Glad to be here. Hit that like and subscribe button. I have nothing more to add.
That's
Oh.
right.
All right, bye.
Indeed.
Nice seeing you.
So yeah, before we get into the show, anyone see any football or soccer to those of you in the States lately? I mean, Mr. Chato, I know that you were impressed with the technical marksmanship involved in that absolute finest game of soccer there has ever been between Spain and Argentina yesterday.
Yeah, that was the worst showcase of a final that I can recall.
Mm.
It's terrible. Just an ugly, uninteresting game. It would have been better if France was in, based on just what was there, because they play kind of a similar game to Spain. But Spain was just overpowering. I don't think there was any chance of anybody taking them on.
I would have thought it would have been nice if you had someone who could like convincingly row in the audience without being complete and total copycat.
I would have loved to have seen, was it Hagland?
Horland, yeah.
Horland.
Sounds a lot like Holland, but yeah, Horland.
Horland. Yeah, there's a couple of.
Many say Holland, but that's because it's double A, and double A
no.
in Norwegian is pronounced O, so Horland.
Oh, so fine.
Yeah.
So no, that was exciting. I think when they dropped out of the tournament, that made it less interesting. But on the other hand, he had some really completely wide looks, and his players just refused to pass it to him. There was even shots of him going, dudes, like I'm
yeah, that's the problem. He's up there, the rest of the team isn't. So
yeah, I mean, it was anyway. We all love him. He seemed to have taken the loss well, and he has gone around. He's been Mr. Goodwill. I mean, if FIFA wants any ambassador to the game, it's him.
Dude, he's the perfect ambassador for the game and for the country of Norway. So yeah, it's big deal. Also joining us is Tom, who seems very impressed after having seen the trailer for Avengers Doomsday.
Rebecca remains to sue somebody. Why is it every other X-Men is back but her? Why do we have the J-Law version?
Is it Lawrence playing her?
Why?
Oh, wow.
She's the first class version. We're getting the old versions of all the other ones except for her. That makes fuck all sense to me. And this trailer looks like nothing but AI. If you told me this was a fan-made AI trailer, I would believe you.
Actually, you know what? That fan-made AI trailer, the one with Doom
Was better.
killing of all the Kangs, was better than this one. But again, we're getting ahead of ourselves. But
Yeah, Tom.
He asked.
That's true.
The fuck?
I did ask.
That's true.
Yeah.
Be careful what you ask of Tom.
Yeah.
Fuck this
Yeah,
movie.
but actually, let's get into that. We have a packed show today, but let's get into that right away. Hypergiver says for $2, saw the Doomsday trailer and felt nothing. And yeah, this is actually what I was saying behind the scenes. I told Chato and Scribes that basically sums up my reaction. I saw it and I felt nothing, absolutely nothing. That's my review of the trailer. I was not impressed. It confirmed all of the leaks, so we are in for a complete and total mess right here. And yeah, I was unimpressed, and I know that Scribe has a lot he wants to say about that. So I want to let him just think about it, Stu, for a moment as we begin with Mr. Chris Brawley, and we'll get to Scribe. Were you impressed with the trailer?
No, I just
The end.
No, I mean, I was trying to stick to my initial saying. It looked dreary, and you can see Steve at the end there. You know, the hammer goes to him. Steve's not going to put on his Captain America suit. We know this. What we've got here are the D-listers and C-listers are being elevated at the expense of whatever it costs to bring some of these actors back in their roles. You know, he's a good sport, right? So he needs the money, right? He hasn't had a huge hit in a while, but I don't think they're going to bring it. The whole affair seemed dreary, and seeing Pedro again, it just kind of primed the pump for me. I don't know. To me, it's like it's opening a week before Christmas, and the whole thing felt like another experiment in hopelessness. So we'll see.
Mr. Chato, are you more hopeful than Chris? You're muted.
I'm muted.
I mean, it's just the same as Chris. It landed exactly as I anticipated, and in
other words, with a massive thud.
Yeah, I think the movie is going to feel exactly like this trailer. I don't anticipate the movie being any more exciting than this. That doesn't mean people aren't going to want to see all these people in tights. I'm not saying, and I didn't even recognize Steve at the very end in the beard. I thought it was some other person.
He was awfully gaunt-ish.
I watched it twice. I'm going, oh no, I don't recognize that bearded person at all. I've seen him in a beard, but I didn't recognize him here. Anyway, no, it is exactly how I've anticipated this thing is going to go. Overstuffed, like a turkey.
Well, he did have the Sempic face. I will grant that. Yeah.
I was wrong. It is Rebecca Romaine. It was that one scene she turns into Florence Pugh that I thought it was J-Lo.
That's what I was. Yeah, I saw her.
I got confused, but I don't care. This thing looks stupid as fuck. Sorry, who's next?
I can't take credit for this, but great comparison. Professor R2 said, did you enjoy Robert Downey Jr. Imitating Werner Herzog in his accent at the beginning of the trailer? And I was like, that's a good way to put it.
Good, not a bad accent.
No, I mean, as far as trying to affect a Latvian accent or something, it's like, okay, I've heard worse. But when I watched this, I was just reminded it's a cavalcade of cameos of characters that have not made an impact culturally over the last 7 years. You got Shang-Chi, you got Namor, you got Thunderbolts. It just reminded me of the dark times of the MCU as compared to the first series of films up through Endgame. And there's nothing exciting there. And to have Thor constantly narrating to us the threat that we haven't seen built up in a similar fashion to the first series of films, but instead we're just going to have plopped onto us. And the fact that most of the people in that movie, or a good chunk of them, you have to have watched TV shows or watched movies that nobody cared about in order to understand who they are, where they come from. And it just felt disappointing. And even if I'm glad to finally see Doctor Doom visually represented in a really awesome way on screen, I don't have any hope that this isn't going to be another mess, because I've done my best to avoid the spoilers and the plot leaks. Some of them, somebody says something sidewise in a video you didn't expect coming. It's like, oh, is that what's happening? But just hearing off to the side from actors themselves now that they didn't know who they were interacting with when they did their bit in front of a green screen, and they made up the dialogue the day that they showed up or something. Marvel hasn't learned its lesson after all this time with something that the entire franchise hinges on. If they haven't learned their lesson in production and writing and consistency now, I always want more of Marvel. That's why, hope springs eternal. The best cynics also are the most hopeful people.
You're
But
being Charlie Brown and Lucy with the football.
I like I say, I want to think the best. I want to hope that I'm going to get that feeling again that I had back in 2008 when I saw Iron Man for the first time. I'm like, wow. I want that to happen again. I really do.
I'll settle for the feeling of 2019 when the last time these were actually good in Endgame. I had huge problems with Endgame, but still, you had the feels in that movie.
Yes.
Well, one of the dumb things they did, and I don't know whether it was a choice or just the order of things, and they're now scrambling to fix it, is that Doctor Doom really is a Fantastic Four part of that universe. And they're connected because they all got irradiated, right? I mean, this is...
not in the comic books.
Only in the 2005 movie. Beyond that, Doom was never irradiated with any kind of cosmic rays.
No, his connection to Reed Richards was they were college roommates or classmates.
Right. Yes. Yeah, but and then he got his superpowers and became Mystic and all that stuff. So
he's a mystic, but technically his only superpower is having his face burnt off.
Well, he's a self-made superhero. He learned his powers. Yes.
So
like Iron Man.
My point is, he's part of the Reed Richards.
Yes,
they're rivals.
Yes.
Right. In much the way as Magneto and Dr. X are rivals, right?
Yes.
And so I always got annoyed with the notion that they're going to start off the Fantastic Four with Galactus. Like, really? Like, what a stupid opening gambit. Start with the personal stuff. Start with Doctor Doom versus Reed Richards. There's lots of comics built on that, and then we get the Doctor Doom opening. I don't even care if the Fantastic Four ends in some kind of tragic disaster because Doctor Doom bests them, and then we get this. Then it would have made way more sense.
I was hoping they would die on their way to their home planet.
Earth?
Oh, if it can be any consolation, I'm sure many other different versions of them have died already. I mean,
so then at least you would have had a proper introduction to Doctor Doom, as Scribe mentions, and then everything makes a little bit more sense. I mean, he's a very powerful character.
Yeah, Doom really works when you build him up in a sense of you think he's a good guy, or like we as the audience know he's not. But I mean, the characters do, and then when there's that turn, that's supposed to be a big deal. And they're trying to build it up just through Thor talking.
Right. Yeah, it's all telling and not showing. And
the idea that the modus operandi for this movie, and the only reason you should watch it is because it's yet another galactic size problem that these guys have to assemble to stop. Again, it's this whole business where they're always in their costume. That the Marvel version of these characters are always ever in their costumes, and it's that mentality that they bring to this stupid business. Why, really, this is it. Your you're going to be promoting the end of the world. That's the reason we need to get together. Yeah, we or watch this. I get it. I mean, you're going to assemble like you usually do, and each of you are going to have powers that are going to be used in a multiplistic way to defeat the guy.
Sure. What?
Again, it's feeling very ordinary. We get it. Bad guy. Good guys have to get together to defeat bad guy.
Well,
I wonder if he's going to have the Doom bots. Like, we didn't see the Doom bots.
The best parts of the older MCU films was the fact that you had, like you say, all those parts where they weren't in the costume, that you got to see the character, the person interacting with the world and other people and other problems. And then when they got into the suit, it made it mean more, and you knew what the stakes were. That's why Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Peter Parker is Spider-Man, because without Peter Parker and his problems and everything else, just being Spider-Man isn't interesting enough. You know, Spider-Man swinging around. Yeah.
I have this vague recollection of some of the previous Avenger movies. The trailers included them together arguing with each other. Am I correct? Is my memory?
No, you remember. Yep, that's correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, those had nothing to do with, incidentally, it had something to do with solving, a bigger picture, a bigger problem, but we were being entertained by their relationship. So here, it's a straight line.
Yeah.
Bad guy, assemble heroes, defeat bad guy. That is.
And most of these characters are complete strangers to each other. You're going to have the Fantastic Four coming from a different universe. I don't think Shang-Chi interacted with anybody of note in his movie. You're going to have Gambit from a completely different universe. We're going to have to spend so much time setting up and explaining to the audience who may not have seen Shang-Chi or may not have seen.
Well, they don't know who Dr. Doom is,
and who is Dr. Doom in this instance of things. I mean,
this
it might
is
be
where
a name
things are going to get
know.
confusing as piss.
Yeah.
There's another thing that's even worse than not knowing who they are. I think quite a few of the audience are going to be like, "Oh yeah, that guy. Oh, bitch, do I have to watch him?"
Right.
That's the far bigger issue.
Namor! Here comes Namor!
Is that they don't care because the audience never clicked with the characters to begin with. Right. And that's the problem with everyone that Kevin Feige introduced all of his own. All of these characters from Shang-Chi. Yeah, that movie did okay when it turned out, but you know what? No one cares. Yes, I know.
No
you individual listening right now, you cared. Fine. I'm happy for you. No one cares. No one cares. Same with all of these Black Panther characters.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Where's Riri? Where's Ironheart?
Young going here. Nobody cares. Not even black people, because you destroyed that movie. And same with Namor. I mean, the entire character and the way that it was done, it was. You all remember Mike, the Mexican Iron Man's rant.
Yeah.
I don't have to say anything more. Didn't click.
Yeah.
Just look back to the Marvels with the women introduced there, the female Marvelettes. No one cared because they didn't click, and that's the big problem this movie has. This kind of like assumes that you are a big part of the reason why the first Avengers movie worked is because people loved the characters and they identified with them and wanted more of them. And it was everyone. It was everyone all over the world. You could go to the place in the world where they hate America the most and show a picture of Captain America. Oh, Captain America! And they'll love it, right?
Yeah.
You had that kind of international, universal, cross-borders appeal, and they had it without trying. And the moment they tried to be inclusive, it all went to hell, because now you have these token characters that nobody cares about, that doesn't click with anyone, anywhere. And now you are suddenly left with a movie that has to be pulled entirely by the OG cast. But the OG cast have either been retired and are brought out of retirement in a way when they shouldn't be, and this is true for both Robert Downey Jr. and Captain America. Both of them were retired. They don't look the same anymore. I mean, Chris Evans, he now has Ozempic face. He hasn't been able to maintain the build, doesn't have the charisma, stuff like that he once has.
Wow.
And for all the other people there, you have Patrick Stewart, you have Magneto. They're not going to draw an audience because they've reprised the roles so many times after they said that they would, that it's no longer special. And then you are left with the new Avengers, the Thunderbolts, the Fantastic Four, all the Black Panther adjacent characters other than Black Panther. Nobody cares. That's this movie's big problem.
Sam
And then from the leaks, we know it's going to be a big convoluted mess on top.
You're so right. Everything you just said could be distilled down to it's just no longer special, right? There's so many characters now that there's so few special ones in it that people are just going to have apathy. It's like, oh, great, there's the Thunderbolts. Don't care. Oh, great, there's Fantastic Four. Don't care. Oh, wait, there's Steve. It's just Steve. It's not Captain America because we already saw Captain America. Don't care. So I think apathy has set in, and I think they're doing themselves kind of a disservice with this sort of drumbeat of dreariness. And it's again,
you know what? I'm looking forward to the gay South Asian from the Eternals. Like he was my favorite.
And I'm wondering,
where are the Eternals?
How deep will these cuts go? Will we see?
Well, I think they probably figured out that no one cares about the Eternals. There's no point now bringing them back.
Well, so you would think then, though, okay, to that point, so why include any of the clowns that nobody cares about? Why
there's also the other problem of a imbalance of power. I mean, I always thought it was kind of cute that they had the archer guy, whatever, Hawkeye, and then you had Ludmilla, the kung fu girl, the Russian girl. And I mean, none of them could take on most of the enemies that the Avengers were taking on. You had to have a certain amount of superpower, right, to be able to deal with it. It was fun. I mean,
it's comic books. At the end of the day, even back to what you initially said, Andre, with Avengers, the reason that was absolutely so special is, yes, even for the moviegoers who didn't read comics, maybe they just saw them on the slushy and icy cups or the T-shirts or whatever, right? Or posters, or their friend had the comic books. Here we've gone and seen these movies, and it's like, okay, that Captain America: First Avenger was pretty good. Let's see some more Red Skull, or oh, hey, that Iron Man, that was kind of cool. It had AC/DC, man. That's Back in Black. I'm loving it. That was cool. And the Thor thing, okay, not bad. A little too hoity-toity, Branagh for some people's taste, but it was Thor, and it was done well, and it was done. All of it was done to the characters that, if you even had a cursory familiarity with, it was fine, and there was no DEI whatsoever. So then all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, now we're going to have this. You saw the first clip of Iron Man and Captain America fighting, or Thor, I think, from Avengers when they first see each other. Like all the comic book tropes, whenever the heroes run into each other for the first time, they don't know, hey, you on the good guy or bad guy? I guess you're a bad guy. We've got to battle and duke it out. And that was special because you could sell more comics of two heroes battling on the cover rather than one hero battling on the cover. And of course, here's the opposite of that very thing. Hello, we're all friends here.
See the ocean in the background? That means the wars nearby.
Yeah, doesn't this just give you the chills? No.
Yeah.
No, and you want to know part of the problem here? And what I'm hearing is Fantastic Four is the fumbling problem.
Yeah.
They had an entire fucking movie. They could have set up Dr. Doom in.
Yeah.
And they wasted their fucking time on the stupid Galactus baby fucking move the earth story that everybody glazed like crazy. And here's the other funny part. Variety recently did a story where they had said that the Fantastic Four wasn't a mainstream comic book. They treated Fantastic Four. Yeah. They actually mentioned it in the same breath as Thunderbolts. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? They are giving that movie a pass? Because the whole point of the article was Gen Z was embracing films, but not stuff that they don't know, like their dad's stuff or whatever. And they lumped in Fantastic Four's failing alongside Thunderbolts because they are lesser known characters.
Oh my God. They really wrote that?
Yes. And I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm going, we should be the most excited we've ever been in our fucking lives.
Yeah.
But we're not.
Mhm.
And the reason is because apathy has set in.
Mhm.
Disney has made these characters so unlikable
Mhm.
or just meaningless. Yeah. Like there's no real build up to this. The last thing I want to do is sit there and watch another movie with Pedro Pascal in it for fucking 2 hours, 4 hours, fucking whining and crying about, oh, Sue, what the fuck should I do?
Yeah. That you know what? A little bit of bile came up into my throat when I saw Pedro. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And why is Wakanda in this?
Exactly. I'm Wakanda'd out. There's no reason for its second movie to exist.
No.
Well,
They-
part
they-
of all this comes down to contract negotiations, right? Who
Right.
can we get?
Yeah.
Can we afford it? And okay, they're going to negotiate some of the role, how they're featured, etc. I mean, this turns into probably a nightmare of negotiations.
Oh, did you see that poster? I said that poster looks like it's nothing but an agent negotiation.
Yep.
Who gets the biggest head in this? It's seriously because Doctor Doom is the biggest in the middle,
Yep.
and then you got the other two at the sides, Thor and Chris Evans,
Mhm.
and then as you go down the
Iron
line,
Man.
literally till you get to the far back is where like Shang-Chi and some of the other ones are. It's like that you can tell who has the worst agents here, basically.
Well, Iron Man is up there.
Well, I'll
You know-
say he's got the Doctor Doom face on it, but guaranteed the week that the movie comes out, they're going to release the same fucking poster, but it's going to have Robert Downey Jr.'s face with the hood instead of the mask.
Yeah.
See,
You know, there's
that's
something-
the thing.
Before the show started, and I'm sure you guys will get into this again. Chris Brawley was talking to Paul Chado about the idea of the Odyssey and the casting being a gimmick with all the names and everything, and some of the casting decisions. This movie's gimmick is simply the volume of characters. Characters that whose the actors' names you probably don't even know, let alone the characters' names themselves.
Yeah.
Like on this picture right here.
So it's the K-Tel version of comic book movies.
Yeah. So on this picture right here, okay, who can name all the characters standing right here?
I know the
there's
Thing
Larry
and Sue
on the
Storm.
left.
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
Where's
that
that?
Ant-Man over there next
So
to
you've got Falcon. Can you
I
guys
thought it
spot
was
Falcon?
Elliot Page.
Can you guys spot Falcon?
You know what? I was
Oh,
about
no,
to
I
say.
don't see Falcon. Which
thank
one's
you.
Falcon?
I totally see
Oh.
Elliot Page there.
No,
That's what it
well,
looks
Falcon.
like to me.
Taller.
Falcon is the second one from the right because that's the new Falcon because Falcon got replaced with
Oh,
a
that's
different
Elliot
character.
Page.
Right.
Yeah. See now I know that because I'm a stupid nerd. But
So that's
anybody else
not
looking, that's
Winter
like, who the hell
Soldier.
is that?
That's
Well-
not Winter Soldier now.
No. Well, Winter
No,
Soldier.
Winter Soldier's there, but there's
Yeah.
the Hispanic Falcon now because
Oh, okay. I
remember,
thought that was Ant-Man.
no, remember Falcon. No, because I know what Scribe's
I thought
talking
that
about.
was Paul
Remember, Falcon is Captain America now, guys. So
Oh, my
there's a
God.
whole audience that's probably unaware of all this shit.
Mhm.
Like this
And
is what I've been
there's a-
Oh,
reminding
that's Blue
folks.
Beetle. A second from the right.
No, it's
Blue
not
Beetle.
Blue Beetle.
Same
There's a
bit.
different Hispanic in here. There's another Hispanic, Paul. Okay,
There's
we got
also
two
Rose
now.
in Matt
Namor.
Universe, but yeah.
Who is that?
Oh,
to
three.
the
You
right?
forgot. There's three. Yes. Sorry.
Well, the advantage of hiring Elliot for the Elliot Page is that they don't have to shrink her down.
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
She is Ant-Man.
Yeah.
She's definitely
Pretty-
an Ant-Man.
Pre-shrunk.
Oh, that's cute.
Especially if her brother or sister has any kids. Hey-o.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
And
that's about as far as I can go with
as
that.
as for the Wakandans, I mean, I still can't get over that they did that. I do not remember the name of the character, but basically, this was the character that dressed and acted like a gorilla
That's right.
in the first
Yeah.
movie. Like his entire tribe did that. Had like this thing that they were like looking and acting like gorillas. I was amazed that people weren't like rioting outside of the theater.
Well,
But,
just
yeah.
to be a nerd, if I'm not mistaken, he was playing the leader from the comic books of, I believe it was the White Gorilla Clan or something like
Yeah, that's
that.
the
So that was,
What a
exactly
racist
yes,
name.
yeah.
yes.
Well, that was in the comic book, so you know who it is.
yeah. It's,
Yeah,
it's fine.
it
Then.
His,
His-
It's
his
all good.
nickname is Great Gorilla. Mabaku, I think, is his name.
Right.
Honestly,
Mabaku.
I don't
yeah,
know
that's
how
the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got away with that shit.
Are
but
we
they,
allowed to call him the Great Gorilla, or is that
No.
all kinds of problematic?
No, 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 no.
I
no,
think
no,
that's
no.
a
I'm only
problematic
referring
situation.
to what
To
is
the comics,
printed
yeah.
on the Marvel Cinematic Universe wiki. So for
Okay.
any,
I seriously think
comments,
that
yeah.
there was so much trolling in that movie. Like, let's see
Yeah.
what we can get away with.
yeah. Send your complaints to Kevin Feige at hotmail.com. Okay.
Kevin Feige at
Hotmail.
Hotmail. I love that.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's right.
Well, otherwise he wouldn't be able to play on Xbox.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
Oh, man.
only a
What
few
was
people
that
are going to get that joke. Yeah.
Kevin Feige at geocities.com.
Geo
There
you
Cities.
go.
I was gonna say that. I was
Even
Angel
worse.
Fire.
Yeah.
Angel
chat
Fire.
It's worse. The chat is correcting us.
M'Baku is the ape man. Man ape,
I like-
yes.
Man ape.
Now I like Winston Duke, the actor.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
this ain't got nothing
He's
to
a
do with
great
the
actor.
actor.
Well,
It
the
has to do
actor is great. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about that at all. But yeah,
Like, I can't believe that Black Panther got away with as much as it did. And I didn't see
That's
Black
what I
Panther
mean.
too, but just listening to the back and forth between like Mikey and Andre and stuff about this thing, I'm going, Black Panther and Black Panther 2 sound like some of the most racist fucking movies I've ever seen in my life.
Mm.
I mean, Black Panther 1, I'm watching going, what the fuck?
I
But I
enjoyed
didn't
it.
say
I mean,
shit.
it was black exploitation superhero.
That's what I mean.
but I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Well, I would actually wish they had just went that extra mile. Right?
Mm.
Like, I want to see the Quentin Tarantino Luke Cage movie. Right? I
Yeah,
want to see Samuel L. Jackson coming out full-fledged afro going, I'm going to kick some fucking ass
Yeah.
up in this motherfucking Marvel.
N-words
like-
and everything. Yeah.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see, like, if you're going to lean into it, lean into this shit. That's my problem. It's like, you're going to go gay, go super gay. Like, fucking do it. Like, don't do this half-ass bullshit, right? Like,
Yeah.
to me, though, what we're looking at here, that's completely off, topic. Like, here's my issue is, like, we've been saying it for the last, 20 minutes now. We feel nothing. We've tried to talk more about our feelings than we have the actual films. But that's the bigger issue here is we had 3 or 4 films building up Thanos. Even Loki in the first Avenger film, you had an entire movie to build him up, right? And I'm not saying you always have to have the build up, but it helps, especially with a character like Doom, right? His name almost evokes this idea of this dread that you can keep, throughout. In fact, like Paul brought up earlier, you could have had him in the last 2 movies as a good guy.
Oh, sure.
Right. As one of the doctors they turn to for some help here or there. And then as this building the background, we see he's getting into some shit he shouldn't be getting into, or he's not the guy we think he is, or there's a reason why Reed Richards and him had a falling out. Like, you could have built this up a little bit. Instead,
we waste that, though. You can't do that because you would have had to have Robert Downey Jr. in the role, and everybody would
That's
have
the
been
problem.
That's Tony Stark.
And it was supposed to be
That's
Kang
the
to begin with.
problem.
It wasn't supposed to
Right.
be Doom. They had
Right.
everything was supposed to be Kang. I mean,
Yeah.
we got to remember that this is all a last minute.
That's
You would
right.
honestly, Scribe, I wouldn't be surprised if they just didn't take the script and scribble out fucking
Right.
Kang and put in Robert Downey Jr. as Doom and
Interesting.
everything.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff was already in production. I mean, there was a story, I forget where it was. I think it was Variety or something from last year. Just how ramshackle and last minute all the decisions were to make Robert Downey Jr. Doom in the wake of what happened with Jonathan Majors and the whole Kang thing. It was done so quickly and so sloppily, and they didn't have a plan. They just had we have to do this. And so Fantastic Four
James
continued.
Just
Yeah, and Fantastic Four continued as it was already planned. So Galactus rather than Doom. They shoehorned in that little Doom post credits thing. Doom didn't show up in the Thunderbolts or anything else. We are watching the end result
Well, the
of bad
Fantastic Four
planning.
did though in the cameo.
Oh yeah, no, and I know. Yeah, like I said, they shoehorned in that one little cameo,
Yeah.
and that's it. And that's the only
But
build.
we're also stuck with a multi-universe version of all of this because
yeah.
that's how the
Well, and that's where the Kang
the
business
Robert
comes
Downey-
in, right?
the what?
the Kang.
That
bit.
started with the Kang business, right? And that's where I think
Yeah.
Scribe's right.
And
Right.
and so I mean, we know that those of us who read the comics, Doctor Doom could control which universe he went in and appeared in. He was able to transport it.
Well, with the cosmic cube,
Yeah.
and
Well, they'll
but
come up with something
the
else
thing is,
probably,
there's
yeah.
also a series where he fights with the good guys. So
Sure.
Sure.
this could all be a complete feign in this trailer where they show him as the ultimate bad guy, and at the very end, thwarting Thor. But it could be one of the comics where he, like I said, he's actually joins the good guys.
I don't know. I mean, a lot of this feels like they're just putting band-aids and buttoning up what they can to fix things. And I think Scribe's right, because this is all multiverse based shit.
It's terrible. More multi.
And to me, I feel like, and I've been saying this for a while, I think Deadpool and Wolverine is going to have more impact on things going forward than people think. And I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm being serious. Like this whole idea of preening off or trimming off timelines and ending timelines, they were setting that up for a reason. Right. I think this whole thing was leading towards eventually we're going to have to get rid of this multiverse shit and just have one fucking timeline, because it's getting too fucking confusing, not just for the audience, but for the fucking people making this shit too, I bet too. Right. Because I've said this before, like I've had to sit down and try and scratch my head and go, what is the timeline here anymore with Spider-Man and some of these other movies because of when they take place?
Well, they also made Loki a good guy. Like, please, enough.
Yeah,
really,
and also a ballless wonder too. But
yeah, it's that the TV show for sure did. I think that the plan. I mean, if I could speculate for a moment, is that they know it's getting bloated, and the plan is to do this Doomsday, then do the Secret Wars. There's a Secret Wars coming, and Secret Wars was the biggest Marvel crossover ever, 12 issue series, and you got every character known to man was there, including Doom, and a bunch of characters that I'd never even heard of. I remember when I read it thinking, oh, well, that's cool. It reminded me.
But that's something you build up over like 5 movies.
Yeah. But at the end of Secret Wars, you get rid of all these unnecessary duplicates and you say, okay, these are our characters going forward. You know, I don't know. At the end of the day, I wish that they had just treated some of these characters like the Bond franchise treated Felix Leitner. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. They're always played by somebody different. We don't care. What's the story? What are we here for? Let me be entertained, right? So I don't know. I think it's too much weight, right?
Five or so years ago, I would have disagreed with you, Chris. I would have been all for this. Like, no. We have to have specific people. In fact, I agreed to a point when, Kevin Feige wanted to replace all these characters in the last Avenger movie, but the Russos stood in his way. Like, now I'm starting to look at this going, you know what? You got a point. Like, there comes a point where sometimes these things need to be either James Bond or whatever, because you can't continue to do this, because then sooner or later it's just going to become a gimmick. It's like, how many times is Captain America going to come back?
Right.
Like, every time he shows up, it's a comeback. It's like, is it really coming back if he never really goes anywhere and he just keeps coming back? And then
they screwed up because they spent that entire time trying to feminize the whole thing and replace all the OG characters. Right. They killed themselves.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's the problem. You're not wrong.
Well, and now I don't know if you guys saw it on Bleeding Fool. There was talk about what Feige was saying about the X-Men. When the X-Men are going to come to the MCU properly is around 2028. And he is pulling the same stuff that what's her name, Alonzo, was talking about. She thought the name X-Men was a bit problematic because there were so many great women.
Oh, that was what's her face? I
remember Victoria Alonso.
Victoria Alonso. Yep.
Well, he recently at a fan festival 2 months ago was talking about some of the great women that they're very excited to bring to the screen. And
so they're not learning anything.
As long as they're wearing tight outfits, I'm fine.
Well, the Victoria Alonso thing, I remember reporting at the time before she was even a big person in the picture. Andre will remember this. The one thing about the X-Men, too, is around the office, they were not allowed to call them the X-Men because of her.
That's right.
It was the mutants.
It was the mutants.
They were only allowed to be called the mutants. And that's why I was saying for a while there, I wouldn't be surprised if the next X-Men movie, they're not called X-Men, they're called mutants. And only mutants.
Yeah. I think they should change the name of the group to Cluster B Women.
Well, that's what they are behind the scenes for sure.
Yep.
Right.
I think they need to move to episodic, non-contingent on other films stories about characters. Heaven forfend. Just, I mean, and if you have a cameo of a different character, great, but it's not necessary to have seen it to understand the next movie or this something else. We had a really good run. Let's just put it this way. The MCU for the first phase up through Endgame had an amazing lightning in a bottle run of a intertwined universe of films. And it's been done, and it cannot be recreated. Move on to character-focused, one-and-done stories that maybe have some minor connections here and there for people who are really looking, but can exist on their own. Like the first Joker movie. Not the sequel, but the Joker movie by itself. It's like you could do one and done, and you move on. Stop having interconnected. It's been done, and Marvel's never going to recreate it, and DC certainly can't.
Well, and I was saying that now for the last couple of years that's what's going to be the undoing of this whole thing, regardless. Besides the MCU, was just going to be the fact that it's crumbling under the weight of itself, and it's because they overcomplicated things. And I said it, I don't know how many damn times. WandaVision was the moment they broke the MCU. The moment they made the TV shows just as important as the movies, that was the problem. That goes right to what you're saying, Scribe, is you can no longer have a standalone movie anymore, and that's a problem. You can say what you will about the DC universe so far, but guess what? Going forward, I bet you that Supergirl movie has fuck all to do with anything else going forward, and that's fine. Because guess what? That means you don't have to have seen it. Same thing with Peacemaker. You don't have to have seen it. And that's where the Marvel had it right to begin with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I've said it before, and I stand by it. It's fine if the show gets affected by the movies, but you cannot have a show affect movies or you're going to confuse your audience. Because there was even a time where during the Avengers height where there was still people who were unaware that there was such a thing as the Avengers, or that they're all this thing. Because I remember talking to this lady when I worked at a grocery store that had a video section, and she brought up the latest Thor movie, and I asked her what she thought about the last Avengers movie, and she had no fucking clue what I was talking about. And I had to basically open up her world to this whole universe. Because she's like, oh, Thor was in this movie too? And because all that was out was Avengers 1 and 2, I think, at that point. And she had no idea that Thor was in these other movies. She just liked the Thor films so far. And I'm like, well, yeah, you're going to be totally lost in this movie if you haven't seen the other ones, right, at this point. So that's where I had to introduce her to that. And that was a point where I realized this is going to be a problem in a few years, where you're going to have so many people who've only seen this movie or that movie and not everything else. And that is something Hollywood used to cater to.
Yeah.
They used to understand that in most cases, or not most, but in some cases, you're going to have audiences that have not seen the original. So you got to kind of reiterate or show something or some way that what happened before, and or make it stand alone on its own to where it doesn't matter, right? And we lost that in film. I don't know what happened. It used to be the norm, not the...
There's another problem as well. Actually, there's two other problems. It goes directly to what you're saying. One is they took Marvel away from being a big theatrical brand, and they made it a TV brand.
That too. Yep.
What they basically did is that, and this is the other problem. It's TV, but it's not high-end TV. It's not Game of Thrones when Game of Thrones was good.
Right.
No, it's the CW verse. That's what they turned it into. With all of the DEI stuff, they turned it into the CW. And this is what they were saying, paying the price for right now. Now the audiences are expected to show up for a movie or for a brand that they haven't had feels for in 7 years. And half the characters were introduced in shitty CW shows that no one cares about. And the others were destroyed or cucked on the big screen in movies for everyone to see. Like, everyone saw Thor Love and Thunder. No one liked it, and it damaged the character of Thor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Multiverse of Madness, similar.
Yes.
You know, it's the same analogy I used to make about Disney movies when they put, Little Mermaid right next to Little Mermaid 2 and all that other stuff. And no longer, Little Mermaid 1 is no longer worth as much as it used to be. And that's kind of the same thing here with the Marvel brand. You're right, Andre, where once you put it on television, it's no longer this prestigious thing anymore, unless you're talking lower level characters like Daredevil and stuff like that don't really interact with other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but speaking of prestige, let's do a couple of super chats. Not all of them, but a couple, and then we move on to the box office.
Because we have another movie that everybody's talking about. Yeah.
Well. Yeah.
And
indeed.
on that note, Burnouts brings it up. He goes, do you think Odyssey is front loaded like an MCU film? Interesting question. Does it share the same demos as Spider-Man? And will the second weekend drop off be steep? Thank you. Well, I mean, I think it was a little weird of them to say that, half the cast was going to return in Spider-Man Brand New Day, but yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Was I mistaken in reading, and I haven't kept up on everything, but that a lot of the initial box office was covered by pre-purchased IMAX tickets from a month
from
or
a
2
year
months
ago
or something?
Yeah.
That is quite correct, and we are
fact,
about to get into just that.
Okay, I was curious what the number.
Any other
was.
super chats, but yeah, go for it. Let's just get right into the box office here.
We'll get there.
But yeah, as I was just going to say, Chris has actually been following this a little bit. And I know you had brought it up a few times now where, like, outside of the IMAX screenings, the Odyssey isn't really filling up the theaters, it seems like, from what your research was showing.
Yeah, big shout out to Odin from OMB Reviews. I don't know if you guys know him, but he kind of brought this to our attention as well, that a high percentage of this is from the IMAX, the 70 millimeter that have been sold out for a year. So those were doing great. Will it keep half or more of the box office? I don't know. I think it will. I don't think it's going to lose IMAX numbers. I think it's going to keep the IMAX numbers for a couple of weeks. But I think the premium formats are just going to continue to drop. Now, I still think it's not going to hit 650. I might have even said 600 last week, but I think 650 is a safe bet for this right now. But those IMAX tickets are also premium priced, so they've got to continue to sell that. I think, I don't know where it's going from here. I do expect we're going to see a pretty big drop off, but I don't think it's going to be any more than what we're seeing for Moana's drop off second weekend, honestly.
Yeah, Moana surprisingly didn't have a big drop, but it also didn't have a huge opening weekend.
That's right.
See, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm. It's in the most theaters, though. So
yeah, but I see that there's a nice spread across the first few films as far as, the kids' movies pretty much split up the rest of the box office, right?
Yes.
It was basically like the parents were like, we're going to see Odyssey, and they paid for tickets for Toy Story 5 and Minions, or Toy Story 5 and Moana, or Minions and Monsters and Moana, and told the kids, go from this theater to this theater when you're done, and Mom and Dad will meet you out front.
Yeah. That'd be great timing for any theater.
I'm not kidding. I'm serious. I wouldn't be surprised if you look at that break, especially when Toy Story 5 and Minions are literally exactly the exact same breakdown.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that to me tells me there's a pattern here of some sorts. And really, Disney did themselves no favors by putting Moana out right now.
Mm-hmm.
They should have waited until the end of the fucking summer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is so stupid. They fucking cannibalized Toy Story 5. Toy Story 5 should be that much more ahead of Minions and Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like Toy Story 5, and I'm saying this. You killed that movie's box office. That movie now will be lucky to make $1 billion because of this. And Moana's suffering on the other end because of it, if you ask me.
I was listening to a podcast the other day that sort of focused on a thing that you had mentioned about how they kind of emasculated Buzz and some things like that. The way that
you don't think they could hit $1 billion? They're within.
It might, but it's going to be a crawl.
Yeah, they are spitting distance.
Yeah, it's going to. But that's the thing is, once Spider-Man comes out, all bets are off.
Yeah.
Like, that's the movie I think that everybody's kind of like, I'm seeing more and more buzz from behind the scenes about. It's getting harder. Like, I'm looking at screenings, they're filling up like crazy. Like, that I think is going to be the big movie of the summer. So we'll have to see how that plays out here. But I think once that hits, I think all the kids' movies fall off a cliff. The Odyssey, everybody's going to be like, what? Odyssey, what? Who cares? We're going to see Spider-Man. Like, I think that's going to be the big ticket in the next 2 weeks.
Well, they got 2 weeks or 10 days.
Week and a half, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Is Odyssey going to be able to hang on to the IMAX screens and not only that, make enough money just off of the IMAX screens to sustain it? Well, I guess here's our answer.
Well,
How much is the IMAX pre-orders? Does anybody know what the numbers were on the IMAX pre-orders a year ago or whatever?
Not sure.
I think 56%. I had these numbers in front of me.
Yeah, it was quite a few, though.
I think it was something like 56% of it was IMAX.
A large portion of this box.
Okay, so the first weekend box office is from anticipatory purchases from a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
More than anything else.
Some of it.
And Andre, you were about to say something.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say that, yes, a very big chunk of this was IMAX, and a very big chunk of that IMAX was bought a year in advance.
Right.
And it's filled up for weeks to come with tickets that were, of course, not all IMAX, but like the real premium ones were sold out for weeks to come a year in advance. Okay. So that's basically money that's already in the bank and accounted for in a sense. And just that alone means it's not going to face a huge drop. But what is really interesting here is the walk-up traffic that that isn't the pre-bought IMAX things? What's that going to be? I don't really have any predictions there, but it'll be interesting to see what it'll be, and maybe Paulie has something to say about that as well, for he is joining us behind the scenes here.
Hey, good morning. Sorry I'm late.
Good morning.
Hello.
Work calls, lots of work. Happy Monday.
Well, I
everybody.
mean,
Same.
obviously, this is the movie that Hollywood's getting behind this year.
Very much so.
So I'm sure from your point of view over there on the coast, Paulie, what's the reaction of everybody this weekend to the Odyssey so far? I'm sure they're ecstatic and happy.
Everyone loves it, I'm sure.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, and I think as far as going to see it, it's doing gangbusters. But I believe the biggest theater is New York, as far as the biggest AMC. And I broke down the numbers yesterday in regards to gender and age and ethnic diversity, just the North American market. And man, it's pretty. All it says to me is Nolan is a brand. And
That I can agree with.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Like Tarantino almost.
So with that, will they go a second and third time?
That's the bigger question, I think.
That's,
And here's
that's right.
I mean, the Rotten Tomatoes are playing out like the audience is enjoying it, but I'm hearing some things that make me wonder, because the number one complaint I'm hearing from people, and I didn't have this problem, luckily, because the shitbox theater I saw it in doesn't know what a subwoofer is that everybody's complaining about how they're getting a headache from the sound mix. And this is a consistent thing I'm hearing, especially from the IMAX screenings. Where
it's I've heard a couple of that, and then I heard people are fine with it.
Yeah,
So I was fine with it, and I'm gonna go see it again on IMAX Wednesday, because I had the worst seat.
Well, and that's the thing is, the thing with this movie is it's a strange animal in that I've never seen so much cognitive dissonance out of people in my life, where like Nolan is literally telling you, here, I've poisoned Kool-Aid, take a drink. And people are drinking it and going, oh, it's the greatest. Is that grape? It's great. Got to be grape Kool-Aid. Well, just to finish my point, because they're like, you guys are just making this shit up. I'm like, no, we're not. Nolan has specifically told you he has poisoned the Kool-Aid, but you have decided to take a drink and you think it tastes good. That's fine. But you still got to admit the shit's poison, because he says it's poison. You can't pretend we're making this shit up, because our video took off a little bit. I've been getting a lot of this flack over this shit. I don't know if Andre's been seeing it in some of the comments and stuff, but there's a lot of people that are claiming we're just making this shit up about the Odyssey. And I'm like, no, we're not. Nolan says it's right there. And it is. It's right there. There's articles that are written about it being right there. And there wouldn't be articles like, woke go broke is a myth if this wasn't true. There's a headline that says that this movie proves that.
Tom, I just want to get back to some box office numbers and let y'all fly with it. What I thought was interesting, so when I was saying that Nolan's a brand, right? And but the idea is that, well, it's just going to be white men that go, and males did go 59%. The age range was 18, the majority 18 to 40, which is huge. But the demos are showing that Asian American, Black, and Latino, they all went and over-indexed their population. That doesn't happen a lot. That does not happen at all, guys. Maybe one, maybe two or three, but when they all do it, what does that say? That just says Nolan's brand is all kinds of people dig Nolan's brand. Whether that I don't know what happened there. Whether the movie's good or not, I'm just that's just the numbers.
Yeah, and those are the numbers. You can't argue with the numbers.
Yeah, I got to split, unfortunately. I apologize.
Scribe has to run, yeah.
Okay, take care, man.
But, yep, nice seeing everybody. Everybody have a good rest of Monday. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Latino Slant, Bleeding Cool, Midnight's Edge, and Paul Chaddo's channel if you haven't already. And have a good week, everybody.
See you, Scribe.
So
everybody does that.
I've got those IMAX numbers, and it turns out it was a 56%. I was still thinking about that Moana. It was more like 39.5% globally. That domestic and global was IMAX. which is huge. And about 50% of that was probably pre-sold. And that's huge. So, I mean, the demos are big. The what Paulie was just talking about, that's all huge. But it all comes back to Paulie's initial thesis. Nolan's a brand, and Nolan puts butts in seats, doesn't matter what he's doing. Just like Tarantino, I think one of those rare directors that can just about sell anything, whether it's poison Kool-Aid or not, right? I think they can just about sell anything.
The final thing I want to say really quickly is into what those numbers and I agree with Tom, because someone had asked me in the video that I put up, will it be dethroned by Spider-Man? 100%. 100%. This is when it needs to make its money the next 10 days, Tom.
Yeah.
And I'm still sticking to my position that no one, the vast majority of the audience has not detected any well poisoning, and are the ones who are enjoying it, even though I could stand outside of the theater and explain to them why they're wrong.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Right. And just a cursory look into it, you can see how wrong it is, right? Like I just did even basic research, and Andre and I have been doing more of a deep dive into things. Like I know more now about the Odyssey than I did in high school. Right. Like, and that's probably the last time I really got into it. So like a lot of this, that's the other, my next question to folks is, how familiar are you with the source material? Because it kind of reminds me of Dune. It's like, sure, you can like it and I can see why people like it. But if you're familiar with the source material, then you're kind of like, yeah, this totally went off the rails. And it's kind of the same thing here, because I'm still looking at this movie going, I don't think Emily Wilson ever read the actual Odyssey. I think she just watched the Kirk Douglas movie and wrote her book off of that. and vicariously now, and I'm not kidding. And now vicariously now we have basically Nolan, who also hasn't read the Odyssey, just only reading that version and maybe one or two select other versions, and deciding to turn this into an allegory that's just basically telling the same story he already told with the Oppenheimer. So yeah.
Does Emily Wilson's version pluck Sinon out of the later thing and have
no? Here's the thing: that the Emily Wilson version doesn't actually change any of the story. Yeah. It's only localized differently.
Okay.
Here's like the thing,
and point of views are changed a bit too, is my understanding.
Yeah, you don't really just translate; you localize, and the localization has changed,
right?
Being made more crass. The focus is on different points. But if you were to like just look at the story beats, what happened story-wise, that hasn't changed.
Was she even well, I'm sorry, Andre, was she even credited in the film, Andre?
I don't know if she was. It doesn't.
I think it's
really
written
matter.
and directed and adapted from Homer by Christopher Nolan.
That's well. It doesn't. She doesn't need to be in the credits because Christopher Nolan has said that he used a number of translations, which you can tell because there are things in that movie which definitely did not come from Emily Wilson, but he has highlighted it. So it doesn't really matter if it's credited or not. She's not the credited writer on the movie. She just saw that version, she just wrote one of the versions of Homer's The Odyssey. That's what's credited.
Well, what's funny is if she's
on the box office, or we're just going.
We're just starting on the box office, but yeah.
Oh, sorry, bro. Sorry.
No, you're fine. But it's funny though if that's the case, because from what I've read, it's pretty much that's what the movie is.
I did research her background, and she's a fully accredited scholar in this.
Yes, she is.
Yeah. She is. So that this is her version, and it's one of the things that I keep trying to emphasize is that movies are a set of choices. People have a choice to either watch it or not watch it, and they can take offense to parts of it. In many weird ways, I found this much less offensive than. Oh God damn it! Last year's
One Battle After Another
winner.
Well, that's the thing is this is, and that's what I
said.
One
battle after another. I think it glorified Antifa.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there was we talked about movies like that where they try to manufacture the awe, where they try to come from a place of authenticity, and audiences don't buy it. I mean, the majority, no one's talking about that film now.
Right.
As far as, wow, that was a real, Yeah, I know some film guys who I've argued with on a cinematic point about how badly made one battle after another. Forget the woke politics. How badly made. I was not expecting that, Tom. I was not expecting how badly made Disclosure was. We don't have to talk about the woke
well, that's
politics.
kind of the point I was going to get to. Is it's a well-made bad movie, right? Like that's the thing you have here is Nolan is
Odyssey?
Nolan is a very competent enough director.
Yeah,
that you can give him. Look, you gave him the greatest story in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the greatest stories ever told. Of course, most people are going to look at it, and this is why I compared it to Dune. Most people are going to look at it and go, well, that was a great movie. What the fuck are you on about? It's like, yeah, it was great on the surface level, but you don't realize what we didn't get and what he did to these characters. And that's what he's pulling mainly from the Emily Wilson version, right? Is the whole idea that Odysseus' sin is the Trojan horse and not his pride. But anyway, go ahead.
To my perspective, to my point is like, what's the value in getting, like, I think it's fun to have this discussion, which is much closer to the kind of debate that we actually had in university over stuff. I think that has been a valuable part in this. For those people who don't know anything about the Odyssey, well, there are people out there who are now explaining what was great about the Odyssey and what isn't in this movie. But that doesn't make the movie any less entertaining for certain people. So I do really like
that's true.
That I love the discussion around this. This is a throwback to university for me.
Well, that's why I was
However,
asking.
There's some people who are just like on both sides are saying no, choice is bad. What?
Correct. Yeah.
Well, watch. Like you have a choice to watch it or not. Don't argue with me on that.
Don't argue with me, Chado. I saw Evil Dead burn last night. Speaking of box office.
Well, no, but just on,
you'll have to tell us
on Paul's point, but we'll get back around to that. But on Paul's point, like that's the thing is, like we saw this instant reaction from folks who were like pretending like we were going out and telling people not to go see this movie or something.
No, none of us said that.
Right?
Yeah,
like that's what I mean.
On the board here went
not
to see
a single
Midnight
person
did not.
No, not a single person. All we did was say what we felt about the movie or reported on stuff. They were the ones that put this out there that people were like telling you that you need to go out and get your own opinion. Like I even seen people I respect going and running with this thing. And I swear it had to be something they were pushing as a campaign behind the scenes. Cause it's like, well, who's not going to go see it if they're not already planning to go see it? Like that is the dumbest shit in the world. Just like me getting blamed for tanking Masters of the Universe. Like what fucking power do I have?
Your fault.
Yeah.
On Prime now. No, on Prime.
It was your fault. I mean, and then there's the interpretation of people interpreting stuff. I mean, I watched Gary Beekler's review and I went, I agree with this 100%. And then you talk to one of his meat eaters, not one of his panel people. I'm talking about like people who like follow Gary, and they completely misinterpreted his review. I'm going, okay, I'm not going to defend or argue Gary's review because you got it wrong. Just because you anticipated the review to be of a certain kind based on Gary's brand, you actually got it wrong because Gary had a terrific angle on it.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I thought it was apropos and it was very well thought out. I had even said to Sasha Stone over at Awards Daily that this is kind of a Rorschach test movie, if you will, right? You kind of are going to get these various takes on the piece, and you've got some people who are very invested in the original Homer's Odyssey that are going to take issue and umbrage at certain liberties that Nolan took. He kind of, and to Gary's point, it's like he approached Homer with an atheist adapting a Bible. I thought that was such a great line at the end.
That was a fantastic.
That's a very good way of looking at it. Exactly. Like that's the thing that goes against.
Retains all the architecture and the poetic beauty, but can't really inhabit its worldview. You know, it's like the cunning of Odysseus becomes guilt. The myth is sort of some modern therapy on PTSD. And one of the reviewers over at Bleeding Fool says, you know, if you want a great story about a soldier coming back with PTSD, go watch First Blood, right? So it was good. I think what's interesting is that Nolan has managed to capture the zeitgeist right now, the space, if you will. He's the topic of conversation. We've never seen as much traction with people either trying to push back on our takes or get affirmation of our takes. It's in my algorithm of people I don't follow. I'm seeing it everywhere. It is the discussion du jour that's lasting more than a weekend. So I think it's got legs for at least another 10 days. Yes, Spider-Man's going to knock it off, but it's going to be a big one.
Yeah, and to add to that, right? Speaking about like the discourse of all this stuff, right? I think on this panel, I'm probably the person who's liked it the most. And in my comments, I've been told to delete my account. I'm sure
yourself.
I mean everything you can imagine, including one from Chato.
Well, he does that all the time.
But he does that all the time.
Yeah,
No, but I'm just saying is that everyone's just really fired up.
Every morning I wake up to, you're embarrassed, you should delete your account from Chato. Like,
yeah. Well, and the thing is, then people also bring in your religious affiliation as a punchline. You know, the personal attacks have been shocking on this.
Yeah.
It's just a movie game.
Little too much, guys.
Well, and here's the thing that's bothering me is like we even have a listener, Superior Nave, in the chat who's taking offense to what we've said about the film. He's claiming all we've talked about is the trans and black actor. That's not true. In fact, I spent a lot of last night's show on Marks talking and debating about just all the stuff that was changed and why in the story, and it had all to do with Odysseus and less to do with the other characters. Because that's my biggest issue at the end of the day with this film is how they totally misinterpreted the whole point of the story.
Well, and we haven't brought that up today at all.
Right.
No, I think because
I think just like the variety media, or the Hollywood media and all of a sudden the last 2 days, all these people are Oscar worthy. I mean, they're going full throttle. The other side does that as well.
Well, I've been harder on Matt Damon than probably anybody else, to be honest with you.
These are the headlines: is the trans casting and the black casting. That's the headlines.
That's easy. That's like low hanging fruit.
That's been so.
But kind of going back to what you were just saying, like Matthew Marsden brought up kind of a similar point. He's like, the reaction to the Odyssey typifies society right now. It's either the best movie ever made or the worst.
Yeah.
And I said, he's like, there's no nuance on the conversation. And I said, well, here's the nuance. It's based on one of the greatest stories ever told by a very cinematic director. So yes, it's going to feel or be good to some or a large portion of people, but some will see it for the poisoned Kool-Aid that it is. The deconstruction of the original story that does it and what it does to tell the modern story. This would be fine if you did it in a way like Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet or Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? But when you're coming at it from a historical angle, you shouldn't apply modernity to it. It was a different time with different standards, different gods, different cultures and civilizations. The Odyssey is not a good adaptation of Homer's original poem. It could have been epic, but it's undercut by so much of the modern dialect, casting, character deconstruction, and standards applied to it. And that's the way I feel about it. I mean, I don't.
But that's still an opinion.
But I see it's a pretty balanced way of expressing why I have an issue with it that isn't, oh, you're just a racist fucking istophobe.
Yeah.
Like that's their argument usually.
Well, that's what they have when they can't really argue it, right? Because for some people, I don't know if it was you or Paulie that said it, it's similar in many ways to the One Battle After Another, where it's become sort of a culture war football. And now you've got one side that has to elevate it and not see any of the flaws. Like I'm seeing some people call it the best film in a decade. And I'm like, what? I've seen others call it the best movie of all time. And the casting, whether it be stunt casting or whatever, that breaks the spell for some people set aside, I think what Tom is picking up on and what Gary even picked up on is there are some subversive elements to this, which stem not only from your Emily Wilson adaptation, which has a feminist slant to the localization, but also even in the intentionality of casting someone like Elliot Page to play the one lone Greek warrior who did nothing but good, who was the valiant warrior, who was betrayed, and who added in Hades to our main protagonist feeling even worse about the awful thing, this thing that is celebrated in the poem as some cunning, very clever trick to get the Trojans, he's now ashamed of, and he's in despair. And of course, all the women are the righteous ones, and all the men are the losers or the pigs, and so on. So there is a subversive through line to this, but it is so masterfully put in, like a great chef that's able to put the veggies in or whatever, like I mentioned on Friday. There is this element there, and Christopher Nolan is a master director. So what they have here, it took one battle after another. Beyond that was a good director too, but Nolan has done it. I mean, he might have stripped a lot of the magic from the original tale, but he still has put out a good enough film.
Basically, he was able to put rabbit droppings into your Caesar salad in a way where you didn't notice it was.
It's only 5% of the salad, though.
You know, the clue for me, which really spoiled it, was when as Sinon was dying, she said, "Take that, TERFs."
I knew that. I think they cut that line. You saw an uncut version.
Oh, maybe I saw the uncut one, but that to me was a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah. You silly thing.
And I have to say she, because I am going to get hammered by someone.
The line that threw me out was, "This little girl was the best man I ever knew."
Yeah, there you go.
And I just, and then that's what with everyone's thoughts here that I just heard on this film, I just don't agree. And I was thinking about this, and I can't wait to see it again, because all of a sudden Nolan is, or maybe he's always been, and now he's this subversive commie atheist in his work. I just see it as an artist, and I said this before, who wanted to do something just wildly different. It's his own take. It's art. That's what art has always done, and whether you like it or not. So I mean,
it's as old as art critics.
It's good at this. That's fine. I just wish that he would do his own take to his own original stories, rather than to take world heritage and put his own spin on that. But hey, that's me.
I mean,
I can see that.
I don't want to go back
sort of
and
getting
forth.
the same feeling Christians had to Jesus Christ Superstar, right? So it's like maybe the Greek people have held this myth and legend as something very central to their ethnicity, their people, their culture.
Well, you can kind of get an idea by watching the Kirk Douglas film, how their culture feels about it. Because like I said, that was an Italian production, early De Laurentiis co-production with America. And like, that gives you a pretty good, I mean, that captures the spirit of it pretty well. And that's why I'm convinced that that's the only version that Emily Wilson is aware of, because a lot of the stuff that she leaves out and changes, and or the structure of it that they followed along with in Nolan's version, is that movie, right? Mm-hmm. That's the funny thing, because
that's probably more so Nolan than Emily Wilson. Then.
Could very well be. Could very, very well be. But like, there's just the weird thing is just the similarities between the changes that were made to tell the story the way they wanted to tell it, basically. Like, for one thing, like making, Odysseus have amnesia through the lotus flower, or in the beginning just have amnesia in the other one with Kirk Douglas. That whole point of doing that is so they can tell the backstory to the audience in a quick fashion. It doesn't actually happen in the actual story. But those both happen in these stories, and they kind of are told in similar ways, so you're kind of going, wait a minute here.
That's what's amazing about all these. I think what's amazing about all these classics is that there's room for so many interpretations. Has a famed Greek director taken this on? I want to see that.
Yeah,
I don't. Well, here's like the thing. It's just because a story like this, you can do one of two ways. Either you can go the atheist route, if you will, which is what was done in the movie The Return, which is, and everything what Nerdrotic said about it, like basically this is like if an atheist had told the Bible, that is what's done in The Return. And they found a brilliant way to skip everything supernatural there, but still tell it as if that's a plausible origin story for how this myth could be. Yeah, that's one fantastic way of doing it right there. Now, that is something that any Greek filmmaker in principle could do. But then if you want to actually do the whole story, you want to do the Iliad, you want to do the Odyssey, this is something that actually is beyond budget of most Greek filmmakers. This is something that that would require a substantial budget, and the Greek Ministry of Culture, assuming they operate like everyone else in Europe, they're not going to fund anything as jingoistic and nationalistic like that. Like, for instance, there's no big Norwegian movies about like the Viking era and stuff like that, or Swedish or Danish. Yeah, you have some, but you know what? For the most part, they're either subversive. If they're like big budget, they're subversive, or they're lo-fi and they're reasonably accurate. But you don't have like these big things with like gods and monsters and stuff like that, because that is simply beyond the budget of, of most European productions.
Sure, but there's a very well-known Greek director who's winning Oscars, Lorgos. I can't even say his last name.
Also, he would also have to want to do it. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
No. I agree with you, because I'm saying, well, you know, because I was thinking about this. Well, is there like a really good world-class Greek director that Hollywood knows that could take this on, like you said, that's not afraid of the jingoistic, the nationalistic, take? And it's like, well, you have Lorgos, but he's pretty far left.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The guy that did The Lobster, is that the guy you're talking about? Paulie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I have to disagree with the watcher.
How do you say his last name?
I'm
sorry.
I want to see Tarantino's version, because the soundtrack would be killer, and that fucking last scene would be the bloodiest fucking scene you've ever seen in cinematic history. Kurt Russell would come in killing motherfuckers.
There was a Greek movie, kind of like a Harvey Keitel, Ulysses Gaze.
Yes.
That was not it wasn't really an adaptation. It was sort of a kind of a roadhouse movie.
I know what you're talking about now that you mentioned that. Shit.
Yeah, he's trying to find the lost films reels or something. It's a bit art house, but you're right, Paulie. It would be neat if there could be a Greek director really just do it in the sort of the vein that, all the passion that Gibson put into his.
He doesn't even have to be Greek. He just has to respect it. Like, for instance,
that's interesting that you mentioned Mel Gibson.
That I think would nail this without being Greek are, one, Mel Gibson, who would do probably better than anyone Greek, because he would insist on an all Greek cast and ancient Greek dialogue. And then
subtitles,
Eggers,
that'd be crazy.
And Robert Eggers, who would do it probably the same way that he did Northman, meaning basically he would film the world as it's seen by those living.
And how scary!
But again, that's if he's interested. But that's all moot points, because the Odyssey movie we have right now is Chris Nolan, and whether you like that movie or not, that's the movie we have. And I think it's going to be it's going to embolden the woke crowd in Hollywood in a very, very big way that it is this successful. So I'm not excited about that, but hey, it is what it is.
Well, that's interesting, because like you said, the go woke, get broke, the like that whole I
haven't said that, because
no
woke doesn't always lead to that.
I know, but what I'm saying is that those articles are now being
that's what I was writing up
the last couple of days.
Yep.
And get woke, go broke. I mean, that's a African American, that's a black vernacular, from back in the day. It's just so funny how they've come.
And you see the gist of those articles is always, it's a myth. We can go as woke as we want. We we have because to me, I have to say, like, in terms of cast, Lupita Nyong'o and Elliot, to me, they weren't the worst bits. The worst bits to me were the Indian guy and the Asian guy proclaiming themselves several times, "We are Greek."
Well, I want.
And the deconstruction of Odysseus. That was my main thing last night. I was going through, and how Nolan is trying to have his cake and eat it too with this whole gods and monsters thing, because he sets up the movie, and for the first hour or so, as the audience, we're kind of set up with the expectation that we're not going to be seeing a bunch of mythological creatures and gods and all this shit. And then all of a sudden we get a fucking giant cyclops with a vagina eye. And we go to the underworld and we get giants. And and stuff like that. And so which is it, Nolan? Do the gods really exist or do they not exist? Because your movie is trying to have it both fucking ways. And that's my biggest issue with the film that I was going over last night was like, what is the deal here? Because I brought up again the whole thing with Athena. Like, is she really in the movie or is it PTSD? Which is it?
Right.
Because he was alluding to again that there is
that.
no gods in the movie. It's like, well, now wait a minute here. Is it one way or the other? Because you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you were going to do this in a sense that you were saying, then you should have done it the way that Andre was talking about, the way you did the return, or they did the return, where you're literally pulling out all the mythological elements of the film.
Isn't the Cyclops, though, the son of Poseidon?
He is, and that's my point, is the movie, the only way the movie fundamentally works is if the gods are fucking real, and that's one of the biggest problems with the movie, and sorry I'm getting upset about it, but it's true, is that you don't have the scenes with the gods in their soap opera and playing these things out in their fucking world, right? Yeah. They kind of needed that thing like Clash of the Titans, where you have the group of gods just kind of bickering and doing their thing.
Yeah.
Because that's a big part of what's going on behind the scenes in this story.
Has anyone read this article yet?
No, I didn't read the full
Doing
article.
A video on it. And
You
But
did a
I was
video
going to say,
on
I'm getting
Over
enough.
here.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm
From
going to get enough
Vanity
of it.
Fair, everyone who were thinking that, oh, we're getting over the wokeness. No. This movie, the success of this movie. Oh,
This is what I was afraid of.
Back now. Yeah.
And this is exactly what I was afraid of.
And when I say you, I don't mean anyone in the audience, but this is what I was saying in earlier videos. You get what you vote for, and here, whether they wanted it or not, the audience just voted for a big return to subversion, colorblind casting, and everything that goes with it.
Well,
So,
and even but it's made in a way. Rorschach, Paulie liked it. A lot of people I know liked it.
and that's fine.
And
I liked a lot of elements of it. Don't get me wrong.
But hear what I'm
Chris,
saying.
carry on.
Yeah, let's
Because Vanity Fair is taking this as a W for their side and an L for our side. All that's in quotation marks for you people listening. What Andre is saying is absolutely true. So because they see this as a win and that Nolan could do it because they, any criticism was you are a TERF or a bigot or a misogynist or a racist or whatever, the istophobe thing, that's your complaint. Not that maybe you loved the Odyssey growing up and you didn't like all these changes to it, or not that you didn't like the color palette or the sound or certain actors broke the spell and it took you out of it. You're one of these bad people, and this was woke. Vanity Fair and others, plenty of others. I don't know how deep the Vanity Fair article goes into it because it kind of dismisses the failures of Ghostbusters due to wokeness and other stuff. So there will be more. This was sort of like an extension of the woke. Now that this is going to do very well.
Well, the problem with this
Hollywood media is just taking a victory lap.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah, but the problem with this
But
W
Paulie-
is it's like a vegetarian going, look, I ate vegetables, and they're celebrating it.
Yes,
That's the
Andre.
problem.
My big
Paulie had a
problem,
point to make
sorry.
there, so Paulie, carry on.
my big problem is that no one is discussing that Moana is a subversion of Beowulf and Toy Story completely
You're not
ruined. Toy Story completely ruined To Kill a Mockingbird.
And
You're not wrong
Evil
there.
Dead.
Seriously.
Are you talking about
Anyway,
Moana
we
or
should
Moana?
move on, guys. I think
Yeah, let's see what
Odyssey'd
Paul
out.
thought of Evil Dead, because
we should. But Paulie, you had some final thoughts on
Yeah,
this.
go ahead, Paulie.
You seemed
Yeah.
like you
Oh,
were
you know
trying to
what?
get the word in there.
Why don't we? We could just keep going on and on with the Hollywood Odyssey.
well, to finish my analogy before, this is when they should be celebrating, as if Tom ate his vegetables. That's what I mean. If I come out of this woke ass movie going, I loved it, I don't care how woke it is, give me some more. That's a W for them. If Alex Jones were to come out and say, the Odyssey was the greatest movie I ever fucking saw in my life, that would be a win. Now Ben Shapiro coming out and saying the shit he's saying, that's a win for them.
Yeah.
That's an actual
they've done
W.
headlines.
That's actually what my friend sent me. Hey, Ben Shapiro liked it, and I'm like, I don't like Ben Shapiro. Why would you?
I don't like his taste either, but
Well,
yeah.
because they're because you know why they're sending it.
I know. Yeah.
Of course.
And
It's
but
a film.
my quick point was that both sides will do victory laps.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Well,
all.
everybody's going extreme. It's interesting.
That's all. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, and I own TM He-Man, baby. Get it right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let's
that's right.
keep going.
I'm trying.
So so now we've had two people who have seen Evil Dead burn. Andre didn't care for it as much.
No, I
So
didn't
what did
care
you
for
think?
much for it.
What did you think about it, Paulie?
Oh, it was terrible.
That's so
I
sad.
mean, it kind of had an interesting beginning, but then it just gets so bloody and violent, and it just never stops. And it's like, man, there is just like no room to breathe and have a little humor like the OG Evil Deads are. That we both were really turned off. Me and Romy, so it was our date night last night.
Oh,
Oh, I
Nice.
would not.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, she
Evil
likes
Dead.
that. She likes
Yeah.
she
but I
likes
can
the
see.
horror. She loves good possession movies. Good,
Yeah.
Holly, have you or Romy watched the TV series Ash versus Evil Dead?
We have not.
Oh, that's fun.
We're
Especially if you like Army of Darkness. If you were a big fan of Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, it picks up basically where those left. I mean, of course, it's years later, but it's all about Ash and how he fucked everything up.
I cannot recommend Evil Dead Burn to anyone. Young Washington, I highly recommend.
Me too.
Been hearing good things about that, so there you go.
I think you'd like it, dude.
Hanging in there.
Has anyone watched The Invite yet? I know, Paul, you've been talking about going to see it.
Yeah, I have not seen it, but I have been talking about going to see it. I'm curious about it.
I don't know what the budget was for it. It seems to be doing okay on a limited.
It was $12 million.
Oh, it's making money.
Yep.
The Invite and and so is Evil Dead. So is Evil Dead. I mean, Evil Dead was like 20 million. And someone just reminded me in the chat, Andre, about the dog. I was like, fuck this movie.
Yeah, the dog tossing. Anyways,
which movie?
No. Evil Dead Burn. They do something worse.
Oh, Jesus.
Worse.
It would have been fine if it had been that CGI abomination Crypto, then I wouldn't have minded.
Yeah.
I really want to old yellow Crypto.
Animals are low hanging fruit.
And
that's one thing.
A bunch of dogs lately.
Well, and that's where I said where they were lucky with the Odyssey, because there's a lot of guys who were like, oh yeah, but that scene with the dog. I'm like, yeah, but that's low hanging fruit. You can take the hardest motherfucking man, sit him down in front of Old Yeller, and that sumbitch will be crying by the end.
Yeah.
Okay, there's just a thing with men and dogs. It doesn't matter how hard they are.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's an easy layup.
Did any of you guys see Good Boy when it came out? I didn't catch that.
No, I did not yet.
Yeah.
That was a horror movie. I wasn't going to go see it.
It was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it over Burn?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But like a slight recommendation.
Okay. Right on. Okay.
So is there anything left on this list that we need to discuss?
I mean, Michael made $1 billion.
That's
so, I mean,
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, that's big news. I mean, yeah, it's now the highest grossing musical biopic of all time. But we're racist, so.
Well, and Grogu is almost going to pass 345 million.
So it's not going to be the lowest grossing Star Wars film of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
And now it's on streaming.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I think that just barely makes it past Solo, doesn't it? Or did Solo still make more?
I think it's getting ready for it. The 4K comes out late August.
I don't remember what Solo made.
I Love Boosters to have made more money than The Death of Robin Hood, the latest Hugh Jackman.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Took twice as long, but.
But there was at least people buzzing about The Death of Robin Hood. I think that'll have some life on streaming.
I think a lot of people that have actually seen it, though, were a little disappointed with how.
That may be, but I've heard enough people talking about it that I wouldn't be surprised if it's not one that people pick up on streaming.
The total for this weekend.
Good question.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, go down to
the total, it's on the bottom.
Scroll down to the bottom.
192.
Not bad. That's a good weekend for the box office. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's really
but how much of that was all IMAXs concentrated? That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, somebody asked if, just in case, somebody was asking if those pre-sales, like 3 months ago, you bought your IMAX tickets.
A year ago.
Yeah, well, I'm just using 3 months, but even a year. So if you bought your IMAX tickets for the Odyssey, if you had a seat for this weekend, that's when those dollars are counted. If your IMAX ticket was for next weekend, no matter when you bought it, that's when it gets applied. So somebody was wondering, oh, well, you got a year's worth of sales. Isn't all that counted this weekend only the viewings that would have happened this weekend. They don't apply stuff that if you bought yours like 3 months ago, but you couldn't get that first weekend seat, you had to get a second weekend seat. That's when that ticket sale is calculated in the box office.
And then there's another thing we didn't bring up. So, like, what they couldn't calculate is the audience score, right?
Yeah,
people coming out. So now we have that as far as cinema score, which is an A.
Mm-hmm.
So will good word of mouth help this for another couple of weeks, Tom, or is it just going to be this weekend and then that's it? And either way, I think Spider-Man is going to dominate.
That's the problem, and unfortunately, they can't hope for Barbenheimer with Spider-Man because there's not. There's nothing for both parties to agree to here, right? Like you don't have like a situation where this is more of a female driven type of situation where women are the ones wanting to go see this movie. No. Right. Like these are both male type properties to where.
But if you like the cast of Spider-Man, come see the
exactly.
The Odyssey.
Yeah.
Which like I brought that up.
If you want to see the Punisher proper, see him in Spider-Man.
Right.
Well,
let me tell you something, man.
One other note about those IMAX. I don't know if you guys remember, but Brand New Day is not getting an IMAX release when it comes out.
No.
Odyssey is going all the way through August 14th.
So we'll see. We'll see how it rolls. Like it's going to be an interesting breakdown. But I feel like Spider-Man's going to eat its lunch overall. But I'm not going to be surprised if after next weekend they're starting to talk about opening more IMAX screens because of the Odyssey.
Look at Supergirl. Taking away another 1,000 theaters. I mean, now, yeah.
It might just dump it on streaming right away. Be done.
Yeah, they should have.
Look at the global total.
Yeah.
Well, it managed to get over 100 million. You might as well pull it. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Blue Beetle made more money.
Probably, which is probably why they're announcing he's going to be in Man of Tomorrow.
Well, I mean, he's likable.
I'm just saying, they're like, don't worry, we got more than just Supergirl coming.
Hey, we got the likable kid from Cobra
Kai. You remember that kid you like from Cobra Kai? Yeah, he's in this too. Remember? Yeah.
There's been an argument that the inflated prices of the the IMAX showings does not reflective of the volume of actual people coming to the
I think
movies.
That's a good point. Yeah.
The one thing where I think it might play into is that an awful lot of people on the fence who aren't going to understand what box office totals mean are going to view this very good first weekend as a positive marketing opportunity.
Yeah.
And they're now going to be curious because it looks like it made a ton of cash and people, and they're not going to make the distinction, right, between, $50 tickets and the regular $12 tickets or $20 tickets.
And it goes beyond that, Paul, and thanks for bringing that up, because the thing with this movie is this is one of the most expensive movies we've had in a while.
Expensive and expensive to market too. Add that too, Tom.
Yeah, because
I mean they went all over the world promoting this film.
Except
I didn't see him in the chatter. I would have sent him a link, but Professor R2 did a pretty good breakdown of this too, about how he's pointing out how basically the Odyssey has to make $1 billion or bust. Like they've budgeted themselves in a situation now between the movie costing $250 million and the amount of advertising that they're doing for it. If this movie does not make $1 billion by the end, it might not be profitable.
And the one big mistake they made was not telling Lupita a selection of gods from the Odyssey. Like that one question from that one red carpet event where someone said, name your favorite Greek god, and our favorite Yale graduate. Oh, man. That was a cringe.
Well, the
moment.
problem is they all said Lady
Nothing.
Gaga.
She didn't. She just went. She swooned.
She kind of fell over.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, to be fair though, I do have to say that. I mean, that's unreasonable for her to expect because she's an actor, and honestly, you shouldn't even have to expect a single one of the actors to even have read the Odyssey. Can they act the way that the director needs them to?
No, I get it. But she could have at least said like Hercules.
Who are we talking about?
Lupita.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's a very
But-
funny moment.
Yeah, she was asked, "What's your favorite Greek god?" and she didn't know any.
None.
Really?
None. Yeah, none. She could have said souvlaki, like something. I don't know.
Again, she could have said Thor. It would have been hilarious.
It would have been hilarious,
Right?
Like go for the laugh.
That's good.
Anyways,
Black Panther. You know, I don't
Yes,
There you
Black
go.
Panther.
That's 10 more Chatto videos. There you go.
there you go.
Yeah.
Or if she was a Christian, she could have said,
Got one.
God, Jesus, Jehovah, or
Jesus,
something. I mean,
there
she
you
could have
go.
just
But-
been playful, but that was a weird swooning that she
It
did.
was. Oh, she was embarrassed.
Well, any number. She could have just said Athena. I mean, she's in the movie for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but not with her.
That's right.
And,
Not
and
in her
obviously- and
scenes.
as
She
I've
didn't ever
said-
read that.
That's
part of the
true.
script.
That's true.
and
You got a
and-
point.
Yeah,
And
she could
Lupita
say, I love
Nyong'o-
Buddha. Buddha.
You actually seen
So
the
you're saying that
movie.
Lupita reads a script like this: bullshit, 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 my line, bullshit, bullshit, bullshit,
That's
my
right.
line, bullshit,
Hey.
I
bullshit,
think
bullshit,
probably
bullshit, my
most
line.
actors read the
Hey,
script.
Yeah.
a lot of actors do that.
I know they do, and that's why they come
Lot
off like
of
shit.
act-
Yeah.
the you know, and what? See, this is why this business is so fucked up. Is that they don't have to, because
Yep.
they're like, what are my lines? Okay, and then they'll rock their lines.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
They don't have to do anything more than that, and they'll
They're-
give a good performance.
They're
Yeah.
in their trailer. Someone
Agreed.
comes over with a photocopied segment of the script that's this big that they can
Yep.
keep in their pocket. And I'm not joking to you.
I believe you.
Here's your side. And a movie is lucky to be able to get 3 minutes of useful footage a day.
I think this movie is a lot different than that. You're right in regards to your dailies, in regards to your sides, which and they do change every day. It sounded like there was a lot of different ways that Nolan handled,
Sure, but you get your sides in your room, and
Yeah.
then I know some people who are better off reading it and then quickly spewing it as opposed to trying to memorize it for weeks. So there's different kinds of acting styles that people have an easier time
methods.
of remembering something, sometimes by just reading it once and going out and doing it.
Well,
you
that's
should
part of the reason
hear.
why.
You should real fast. You should hear Romy's methodology in reading lines, memorizing lines, because it's all connected to your emotional and nervous system.
Yep.
I'm like that. That's amazing. Because
Well,
she's
yeah,
like, you got to
everybody's-
remember, your nervous system doesn't know it's lying. That's
Right.
when you
Right.
really have a great performance.
Well, and that's just it. You have so many, like Paul said, there's so many different actors who do things so many different ways. But Andre was going to say something about the box office. It sounded like when I had mentioned
no, I was just going to say we have a lot.
Because there
of
was one more
supercuts
point
go
I had to
through,
make
so let's,
too.
get
Yeah,
into that.
because the
And we'll-
reason why it might have to make $1 billion is because once you add on all that shit and the 3 times or 1 or 2.5 or 3 time multiplier, here's the thing that they're not telling you too much in the trades. Nolan's getting 20% off the top no matter what.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
that changes things.
That changes shit, and that's why I said
Yeah.
this movie has to be $1 billion or bust, or
Yeah.
basically Universal's going to be taking a bath on it.
And,
be
and
interesting
they
to see
very,
the-
very well may be.
Uh-huh.
Problem is that everyone else is going to see it as a win and carte blanche to carry on with the subversion anyway.
Well, we
Yep.
will see in another week, gentlemen, whether this
Meanwhile,
actually
let's
has legs.
move on with the.
But I guess that was the
super
sweetheart deal he made to that when they pulled him away from Warner Brothers was the 20%.
Well, I was also gonna say, I'm wondering, because of if this is 20% off after the fact, is it? You're saying it like at the top before?
I think it's the net or whatever. Yeah, not the
Really?
gross. Or
the,
whatever.
the gross,
Or the gross,
one.
not the net. I mean, yeah.
Okay. All right, that's a sweet deal.
Jeez.
I'm
So
wondering.
yeah, so like he basically pocketed a bunch of money this weekend. It sounds like.
So now I'm wondering what the actors' deals were above the line, the top stars.
Well, the thing you got to understand with Nolan is this was his first big feature after getting pulled away from Warner Brothers after the whole Kalar situation. Remember?
Mhm.
That's the thing. So that's where this is in play here. That's why it's a big deal, and that's why it's got to make all this money. Well, actually, Oppenheimer was that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is the big deal. Like this is his new big deal over at Universal. He's basically their new Spielberg, is what he is. Remember, Spielberg had like this carte blanche deal for basically 3 decades.
Back in the
Now
day,
Nolan
yeah.
basically does. So yeah, and
earned
Spielberg
it.
had this. Spielberg had the same kind of thing where he made a percentage off of every single, not just his movies, but I think every single movie Universal put out for a certain amount of time too. For a while there,
I wonder
people
what
didn't even know that.
Do you know Coogler's deal with Warner Brothers?
Kukla.
That I don't know, but he got the rights to Sinners after, what is it, 15 years or 10 years or whatever it is.
He's now throwing around that idea of having the X-Files movie pilot be released in theaters.
A movie. I saw that.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. I know, going back to Odyssey, one of my biggest complaints is just the awareness and the believability of Hamish Patel. Not because he's Indian, I could care less. It's because, in my opinion, what I saw, he was just a shitty actor.
Well, and he's built like
performance was just terrible. That's just me.
He's not built like a warrior either.
Yeah.
He's also not built like a Greek. So,
let's get to these super chats, though, as Andre pointed out.
But he did try to rape the witch, which
that was the stupidest scene.
Made him a groomer.
Great.
I'm not going to rape you. He acted like the gayest guy in the world at that point. Bass player 2011, if he says, face it, phase 1 and Iron Man especially was lightning in a bottle. You will never get that again. I don't want to say never, but they were their own worst enemy in the situation. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I just think the superhero movies are going the way of the Beanie Babies and the Ice Bucket Challenge. It's just like, I feel like the trend is we're on the downslope. You know?
It didn't have to be, but yes. Their own fault. Yep, that's exactly where Andre and I are coming from now.
Yeah.
Grimzilla says, just watch the 97 miniseries for Great Odyssey. Yeah, somebody told me this is on Netflix, so I'm going to have to finally check this out.
Well, to be fair, though, let's just be clear that the 97 miniseries, I wouldn't say it's great, but it's more true. So check out the 97 miniseries for a live-action Cliff Notes version.
No, I'm not going to do it. You can't make me.
Yeah, I'm Charlie. I wouldn't even know. Like, apparently, there's a much decent copy that's available somewhere. Just like Shout have the rights to it, so they must have done.
Is that the one with Armando
Sante? Yes.
Not my favorite.
No, that guy has played more Mexicans than you can think of. I mean, that guy played everything. What is he, like Turkish French?
Spanish. I don't know his nationality and exact genetic makeup, but here's like the thing from where I'm concerned.
Yeah.
As long as you can pass.
I'm just saying
a lot of different things.
I'm saying is that I'm actually applauding that because he can pass for so much and he's done so many different things.
He could even
played a Cuban, man.
He was too old for the role.
Oh, he's
Italian for the record. So
that's what I thought he was.
Italian,
I wasn't sure. But
Italian Irish, I think. Actually, he's a mix.
He's always had a.
But hey, that's Mediterranean.
It sure is.
Mediterranean, right there. And the Mediterranean Italian. That also means it's there's the Latin connection there as well.
What side of Italy? Right? Was he on the Atlantic? Was on the Mediterranean? We want to know.
He plays Odysseus very cunning and proud and
too old.
Well, here's okay. You have.
I think you're right.
Too old for when? Because remember, it's a 20-year span here. In the Iliad, it's 20 years that have
I get
passed.
it. I just it's the one thing that put me out of that movie.
A couple of years before, he played a Cuban in the Mambo Kings with Antonio Banderas.
Yeah,
and he was hilarious, man.
Yeah, indeed. And Hypergiver said he saw the Doomsday trailer and felt nothing. We had discussed that earlier.
I agree.
And Packing Proton says, I actually predicted right with 300 million worldwide. And as I said, that should very well be. And with that, we are caught up back to where we were and where Tom can see again with Michael McLeod saying for $10, I think Marvel will try to turn Doom into the infamous Iron Man come the end of Secret Wars. Yeah, that would not surprise me in the slightest. They have unfortunately been extremely reliant on the past decade in comics, which is the worst decade for comics ever, especially for Marvel. So it's insane that that's what they chose to take inspiration from. But hey, that's what they did.
Yeah.
And before we move on, Chris, I know that you are on a leash here, so maybe you are just going to see if there's anything for you here specifically.
I think so.
Let's see. Not at first glance, but got any cool articles to check out?
Yeah, we actually we've got another story. I don't know. We don't really cover a lot in gaming on Midnight's Edge, but we are doing a little deep dive into the Microsoft gaming Chief Asha Sharma. She's facing some controversy.
It's not for lack of trying. We've been wanting to do a gaming channel for years, but just shit happens and gets in the way all the time.
Oh, no, I understand. No, it's not a condemnation at all. So we've got that story coming up at the end of the day because there's some controversy about all the people she fired and then all the H-1Bs that she hired. We also talk about on the front page right now, we're talking about Marvel Comics is moving from New York City to Los Angeles, like DC Comics did years ago, and what that repercussions are. James Gunn's DCU problem, no plan, no respect. And of course, Sydney Sweeney, more information about her erotic take on the Sleepy Hollow legend. Sounds.
Oh, it's erotic take. Okay, now
that's what we're being told. Yes,
so, I'm listening.
Sounds prestigious. So maybe Christopher Nolan will be directing that. We're hoping. I'm just kidding. Guys, check out bleedingfool.com. Always a pleasure and an honor to be on such a prestigious, smart, wise panel. Thanks for having me, guys, and I'll see you later on in the week.
Take care.
Fucking show he's talking about, but
yeah, no, I know.
And I'm not sure if did we get this one from Burnouts?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think Odyssey?
Or no, yes, we did. Yeah, we did. This is the one that kicked us off into.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But go ahead, finish it.
Yeah. Will it be front loaded like an MCU film? Yeah, I think there's a big chance it will be, but we shall see. Time will tell on that one. 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser says for $5 for those that want to read a stellar Doom story, Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment. You're welcome. Yeah, that's in paperback. Dada Miwo says for $2, media doesn't make up for how bad modern life is. That's true. Always focus on making real life for you and those around you the best you possibly can. Don't let media dissuade from that. Rambam says for £5, my dissatisfaction with the MCU and DCEU is a big part of my inspiration to work on my own superhero character and creation of a wider universe. Awesome. Good luck with that. Hopefully that will work out.
Do what you need.
Yeah. And FKA says for $5, did you see that story from The Telegraph with Emily Wilson stating her ideal actor choice for Odysseus would have been Samuel L. Jackson?
There's the Tarantino version. I told you.
I have not seen that at all.
Daddy's home, motherfucker.
But again, only goes to show just how, because yeah, she is an accredited scholar, but I submit she is an activist first, which makes her the absolute worst kind of scholar, and the ones that are extremely detrimental to higher learning and to the university culture and everything like that. So, yeah. And Packing Proton says for $5, they haven't had a script since Endgame, scrapbooking since then. Yeah, we're actually doing a video about that. So, yeah, and the end result of that is certainly not impressing anyone with this trailer. Michael McLeod says for $5 again, not Secret Wars 84-85, Secret Wars 2015. Yes, we got it. Again, that's the recent Secret Wars from the period of Marvel where everything was shit and awful. This was just on the heels of the all new era, or whatever it was called.
Right.
Where they basically went all woke all the time. Mike and Ayer says for $1.99, would Disney marketing let Feige rebrand X-Men? Disney marketing will do whatever Feige tells them to do because he's a divisional leader. They don't get to decide over him. Now, they would have been able to do that under the Chapek structure, but that Chapek structure didn't happen. It was the first thing that Bob Iger undid. So if he wanted to rebrand the X-Men, and now it's no longer Bob Iger, now it's the new guy. If he were to sign up on that, yeah, totally. They could absolutely do that. It would be stupid because it's not the brand, so I don't think they're going to, but they could if they wanted to. And Darth Bobcat gifted a membership. We thank you so much for that.
You.
I'm thinking we're going to do a membership stream this weekend.
I would hope so.
And yeah, and Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle says, good day all. Well, thank you. Hope you're having a good day as well. And Bass Player says for $4.99, the number one thing I've learned from everyone's reviews in this space is taking out the gods was a mistake. Well, many mistakes were made here. I'm not sure if that would have changed anything in this case, but hey, you take away what you want to take away. And Call Sign Dracula, Alucard, says for $4.99, fully accredited scholar means nothing. This is in reference to Emily Wilson. Fully accredited CDC PhDs said biological males on cocktail of drugs can breastfeed babies. This is exactly what I mean. It doesn't matter if you're an accredited scholar, if you are an activist first, because that only means that you are now with a lunatic with the power of an institution behind you, which is what Emily Wilson is, who wrote a feminist localization of the Odyssey, subversive feminist, and got it published and accredited, everything like that, just because she happens to be a accredited scholar. But being a accredited scholar didn't change her from being an activist. It's like the same thing with these scholars that went through Tolkien and suddenly were able to find all of these readings of like trans people in Tolkien, all of this allegory in there that was never there. These were accredited scholars too. So yeah, a lot of weird stuff there. And then Packing Proton says for $50, and we thank you for the support. As an atheist, this is interesting. We don't know who wrote the Odyssey 100%, and the original story is lost for 600 years before someone wrote it down. How do we know the Bible didn't start the same way as a story that evolved? Well, I don't want to go through too much detail here, but if you do some research into the matter, you will find that a great deal of the stories in the Bible and the Torah before that are in fact older stories from the region that's just the most recent version of. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is how stories were told at the time. They were told orally through bards, on rhyme and everything like that to make them memorable. And this is how stories were told. This is how they were remembered. And then they were written down. Many of them were semi-religious, and then they were collected into books and stories that people already knew. So when the Bible was written down, many of the stories there weren't brand new original tales for the Bible. No, they were written down versions of stories that had been told for centuries, sometimes thousands of years before. Now, one can ask, does that make it more or less legitimate? There you're going to have different answers, but that's basically what happened. There's nothing wrong with that. And Packing Protons also says you can be an atheist without being a commie. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, you can. You totally can. Atheism is also something that was hijacked. Completely hijacked.
And Bill Maher actually put out a documentary like 20 years ago now almost, where he goes through like a bunch of, now the whole point of his documentary is he's an atheist and he doesn't believe in God. But he does make some interesting points about how a lot of the stories originated from different places and have been retold over several different, retellings in different ways. And they just eventually found themselves into the modern vernacular through the Bible, for instance.
Yeah.
So so there is that aspect of it too. So like that can be said, like, because to me as somebody, like, you got to take it with a grain of salt on certain things, because like you could tell the Odyssey in a way where a lot of it is more grounded, like the return you were talking about, right? Like you could do that, but then that basically does that. It takes all the mystical elements out of it, basically. It grounds it.
And in terms of Packing Proton's specific point that you can be an atheist without being a commie, you can. But I think that the mistakes that a lot of people did were those who were more militant atheists. They decided that I don't need religion in my life. And that's true. You didn't need religion in your life because the Bill Mahers and stuff like that of the world, Packing Protons, many others. They didn't need it because they already had that moral foundation that would guide them no matter what. So they would never steer astray. They would never become activists. They would never be useful idiots. They would never be commies. Unfortunately, that's you. That's not everyone. There are a bunch of followers out there. And the moment that they don't follow religion, they fall prey to some other cult that's even worse. This is what Richard Dawkins missed. I mean, even Richard Dawkins himself said, like seeing back, yeah, it's probably better to be religious than fall for many other cults that some people do. So yeah. And Jason Webster says for $5 Australian, I've completed courses in history and literature and have read the Odyssey. I agree with Tom on the liberties taken with Homer's Odyssey by Nolan. Indeed. Packing Protons also says Tim Burton, The Odyssey. Many different people could do the Odyssey, and I think most would do it better than Chris Nolan. The moment I heard
Big
Chris
Fish
Nolan
kind of inspired by that a little bit. Sorry,
I don't know. I have to rewatch it. I didn't like Big Fish in the slightest.
I didn't either.
So that's a movie I saw at the time when it came out. I hated it, and then I forgot about it.
I know a lot of people love it.
Love it.
To me, it's the demarcation point of Tim Burton between that and Planet of the Apes.
And maybe I would appreciate it if I saw it again now. But when I saw it. Again, when I was a university student, when it came out, I hated it. But I can't remember why I hated it. I can't tell you a single thing from it.
Because it's Tim Burton's most pretentious movie he's ever made. That's why.
Yeah. I'd have to rewatch
it's the most non-Tim Burton movie he's ever made, too.
Maybe I'd love it if I saw it again now.
And he's working out his shit with his dad in that movie. That's the thing. So I think it's clearly comes from a son who where in the reversal, usually it's the dad who doesn't spend time with the son. I think in this case you had a son who regrets not spending time with his father. So
maybe.
But that being said,
Big Fish is awesome. I love Big Fish.
Yeah, see, certain people love it, and I get why they do, but I have other issues with it, and I haven't seen it in many years for that reason. But Kelly Hahn says I would personally watch Tarantino version of the Odyssey. So would I. Because the dialogue would be written and going to be good, so good. Yeah, even if it was modernized with Tarantino, he'd make sure it's, something you'd listen to. Pack and Proton says, I treat gods as a mythical story. Treat them as characters like Superman or Batman. If you do that, get great shows like Reaper. Well, yeah, that's kind of what the Greek mythologies were kind of built upon, was that whole same kind of concept of, superheroes kind of in a way.
We can have a movie night. Paulie watching Big Fish.
There you go.
Just the two of us, and leave all the cretins out.
Well, can't I come?
Well, you can come.
Yeah.
Anyone can come, but Tom can't talk.
Tom can't.
Yeah, he's gonna make
say a word.
Nope. That would be worth
do it.
Just being in the chat to see if Tom cannot say.
Oh, I'll just find something else to do.
No, but you have to stay on the stream with us. You have to watch the movie.
I'll stay on the stream. I have to? I got a phone. I can fucking make myself useful and do something else. KN Kareen says Emily Wilson
manscaping while watching the movie.
Oh, fuck you. I will too. It was translation. She did not write it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's she did not write the movie. So let's not give her any more.
And again, that's kind of where I'm coming. So is people are misinterpreting what I'm saying is like, it's the interpretation. It's the ideas that it's coming from. And I'm not saying you can't find ways to weasel your way in and out of, but it's pretty obvious what she decided to lean into and where Nolan decided to take inspiration from, let's say. M. Miller says breaking Paramount merger on hold. Yeah, I saw that. It's on like a 14-day hold or something like that from a judge. I don't think it's going to be a big.
Nah, it's these state judges. Fuck them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think it means much. Jason Webster says
it doesn't even matter. I mean, I'm just on the whole Paramount thing. They're probably going to leave California anyways, man.
That's the rumor.
As soon as this thing gets solidified, and then I'm going to be very interested in what.
Is that another reason why they're putting up a lot of resistance there?
No, don't think so.
No, that's Ellison being courted.
Gotcha.
And the California
with the whole merger to begin with.
What is it? State Attorney General, whatever it is, he's going after this merger, but he hates Trump. So
yeah,
go figure.
That's what happens when you let politics get in the way of everything. Jason Webster says,
"Where were they 20 years? The last 20 years, Chris, Tom? You should have been taking care of this industry for the last 20, 30 years."
Yeah, I know. Like Schwarzenegger took a lot of shit, but he was one of the only governors who actually tried to bring the state back from the brink. And he never gets credit for it. All he ever does is get shit on for it. Anyway, Jason Webster says, Helen in Nolan's The Odyssey is not the face that launched 1,000 ships. Maybe a banged up fishing boat or small 2-person canoe tops. Well, and again, I wouldn't even have had an issue with it being, like a black actress. That's not my problem with the role even. Right? Because I could see in a situation like that, if she was, an exotic looking woman, them getting around with their wars and all that kind of stuff. She was a trophy of war, what have you. That I have no problem with. But Lupita is just not really attractive, and the way they present the character is horribly.
I
don't think she's that. I just don't think she's very good.
You're wrong about Big Fish. You're wrong about Lupita. Yeah. Just keep on being wrong, Tom.
It's called my opinion, motherfuckers.
What?
No, we're not saying that you don't have an opinion. Making the statement that she's has to be an exotic black woman. It's like Lupita.
I just don't find her attractive at all.
There you go.
We get your opinion. Yes, and you don't, and that's fine. And opinions.
And a lot of people agree with me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but
otherwise we wouldn't have memes about it.
Well, Paulie and I look like we're willing
because that's part of the problem. No, I just got to address this real quick because that's part of the problem. There's a lot of people that are addressing that and treating that as racism when it's like, no. We just physically don't think she's a very attractive woman. No, I know not you.
Like
but there's a lot of people that are twisting this because there's a lot of folks that are because it's like, no, it just has to do with the fact that a lot of folks don't find Lupita very attractive. Period.
Although that being said, I have deleted quite a few comments that were insanely derogative towards her. I don't think we need that.
That could be
discussion.
And I'm not saying that shit doesn't bring it out.
Headlines that didn't help the racist talk.
Well,
she was the wrong cast. Period.
Yeah,
she ain't no Vanessa Williams. That's for goddamn sure.
Yeah, look at you got 2 for and 2 against. Let's move on.
Well, no, but that's my point. Is people are taking it in the wrong way too.
Yeah. Dudamillos is for $2. Modern Hollywood lives off of attention. Ignore it. Yeah, and this is the one way of them trying to get attention. And then accident sellers.
Attention business, Andre.
That's the business. I'm like,
that was like that Millie Alcock thing where she's like, I'm so sick of seeing my face everywhere. It's like, what the fuck did you expect, woman? You're in a big movie.
Did she say that?
She did. I was like, what the fuck are you thinking? And I thought maybe I'll give her a pass if she's maybe talking about the memes. Millie Alcock. But here's the problem is she said this before the movie even came out. I'm like, well, duh, bitch, you're in all the advertising. You're the star of the movie. You're going to be on every fucking billboard and poster. What the fuck do you expect? Right? Like, the movie's called Supergirl, and you're Supergirl. Of course you're going to be on every poster. That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard an actress say in her life is, oh, I hate the attention. I hate being everywhere. No, you fucking liar. You got into this business because you love attention.
Karen, who gave us a super chat, says, there has been, a lot of hate and there has been racism there. There has been some ugly shit thrown at Lupita, but I haven't seen that from
well, the same could be said for what's her face, Millie Alcock too. Like I even brought up like, hey, come on, we're going a little too far with the memes here. Like it was one thing with the kid from Mad Max, but then they're dragging out making her look like that one creature from
make it look like she has Well,
it's like, you're going a step too far, but all right, whatever. It's like
I would expect someone to say that who's like behind the scenes, who's a cinematographer. They got my face all over the place. I hate it. But an actor, that doesn't make sense.
No, exactly. Yeah. And then I think this is Accident Seller says another subversion movie on that list, Robin Hood. Are you talking about the newer one or which one? Which one specifically? There's so many fucking Robin Hoods.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's just it.
Death of Robin Hood. I don't know anything about it. So
I mean, you could even mean the Kevin Costner one as far as that goes. I don't know.
I don't think it matters because Robin Hood has been done to death a million times over. If there's something you can subvert, it's Robin Hood because it's done 100 times already and no one cares.
There's one version we haven't done yet. where Robin Hood is actually a villain and bad guy.
I think someone did.
Did they?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think someone did.
But never mind,
Yeah.
you're right, Andre. All has been done. He's even a fox. Then we got the one, the only, Thunderheart, who was one of the half a dozen people who sent me the Doomsday trailer this morning. Thank you. It says, "Hail, Midnight's Edge in the morning. I said I wasn't going to. I said I wasn't going to do the Odyssey, but I've changed my mind. I'm a huge Greek mythology geek. I hear tell the classic scene where Odysseus outsmarts the Cyclops by saying his name is nobody, then stabs him in the eye is not there. We'll see. It is not. And not only that, in Wilson's version, she has altered it even more. So they've taken it out completely in this version, and she altered it in her version, which to me is one of the fundamental problems with the film, because that is one of the key moments in the story of when Odysseus makes the mistake of letting his pride get in the way of everything else. Because up to that point, even in this version, which makes no sense, is he's having good luck, right? Like even one of his mates points out how good luck he's having. And then when this incident happens, this is what fucks everything up because it pisses off Poseidon. But that's not real clear in this version, just so they can muddy the waters and have the flip of the other problems that you'll see when you get to see it.
Yeah. Basically, the Cyclops in all previous versions, in the original, it was the maiming of the Cyclops. That's what was the what.
Well, it wasn't even necessarily the maiming; it was his
and
boasting about
afterwards. Yeah, the boasting afterwards, the pride, because pride comes before the fall, and it did so long before Christianity.
Because they even escaped very easily. Because that's the thing, is you could even make an argument that, you know, like the giant trapped them, right? Like, so up to that point, even hurting the giant to get away, Poseidon could maybe even look past. It was the moment he was prideful and boasted, I was the one who did it. It wasn't nobody. It was me, Odysseus.
And he also directly attacked the gods.
Yes, he did. At that point,
also in the Kirk Douglas version. That's what condemned him to basically roam the oceans for the next 20 years. Had nothing.
And that's where the gods are missing in the story, because that's where they're arguing.
Oh, there's lots of
about
gods.
What to do with him, right? Like, because the only point they mention is Zeus is protecting him. Well, yeah, that's a big point of it, is because Poseidon wants to kill him. Zeus wants to save him because Athena's begging him to basically, not begging him, but like saying like, no, he needs to get home. But like, all right, we'll compromise. Like, that's kind of what happens. It's like,
Zeus liked
someone else that needs to go home. Unfortunately, is Mr. Paul Chateau.
Who's home already, all the way home.
I went all the way home.
This is going to be a 4-hour FNT show.
Well, we still got more super chats and Rumble rants to get through.
Okay, you guys have to go through it without me.
But let me double check and make sure there's none for you, because there always is. As you're plugging your wares, go ahead.
I have nothing to plug. I'm just going to. I don't
get a TV guide video yet. What the fuck?
I've fallen behind.
Oh, here we go.
I'm going to be out one a year.
I guess so. Pack and Proton says maybe Chato can get Dan Aykroyd on a stream. Hey, that'd be fun. I saw an interview with him talking about some points.
Dan Aykroyd, I have never spoken to. Dave Thomas, I had spoken to.
He seems like he'd be a nice guy.
Dave Thomas. We worked on a screenplay together, actually.
Did you dig that song I sent you? How long has it been since you've heard that?
Oh, yeah. No, that you know what? A long while.
I was going to say, it's probably been a tick.
Yeah. It's a good song.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I sent him the Geddy Lee song with the
McKenzie brothers.
McKenzie brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Take off, eh?
Talented guy.
That's a good song.
I had met John Candy, as you know, and also...
yeah, I remember you telling us that. Which is funny, because a lot of the stuff you told us, I saw reiterated in that documentary, too, which is kind of funny.
Interesting. And
or at least in the
also
trailer.
Catherine O'Hara actually kind of got me into this business. So
yeah, I remember you telling that story. That was a
yeah. I'm out of stories now. I got nothing.
No,
nothing
you
left.
got no more
Unless
stories.
You just
left.
leave.
Yep, leave. Get the fuck out of here. Go.
Anyways, so long, guys. Have a good one, and we'll see you hopefully on Wednesday.
All right. Take
Bye,
care
Polly.
of yourself.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.
All right, let's get back where we were here, because we got some Rumble rants to get to as well. Pilgrim Media says, "Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou" was a better Odyssey story, which is funny because the Coen brothers admitted to never actually reading the Odyssey when they did that.
Which you can totally tell from the movie.
No one reads anymore.
It's just a loosely inspired by, right? Like you can just take that idea and run with it, basically.
Yeah. And ActionCom says for $5, whatever happened to The Savant? I thought it would be released by now. I don't know, actually.
Not sure. Yeah, it's a good question. I haven't heard anything about it.
I'm not going to be able to find out right now in this moment, but don't know.
Then Rod's Underheart says, "Hail Midnight Sedge in the Morning. I highly recommend the 2003 Helen of Troy movie. Stars Matthew Marsden." I never even heard of this one. And it's one of the best tellings of the Iliad. Yeah. Avengers Doomsday, I agree. The only one guy who said he felt nothing. I have to agree. Yeah, we've all pretty much said that, actually. So yeah. And then 6 gifts, 5 memberships. Thank you, 6.
Thank you, 6.
And we got See Through Love up there, which is of course Rod's book. Check it out if you haven't already, from Friesen Press. There you go.
There you go.
Is that who you're still going through? I believe so, Rod. If not, correct me in the chat. Pack and Proton says, "It's weird. I'm a non-believer in gods, but I do believe in the spirits and ghosts. God just seems like too simple of an answer. For instance, who created him?"
Another stream.
Yeah, total. Yeah, you're getting into theological.
Yeah, that would be an ecumenical question.
Another channel too.
And a good person for that would be over at Force of Light.
And Fletcher Williams too.
Yeah, Fletcher. Yeah, that's true. And then Accident Seller says, "Ryan Johnson, The Odyssey, a Knives Out mystery." Yeah, I'd actually rather watch that, to be honest with you.
Oh God!
And I've never even seen the other ones. Mexican Iron Man's in the house. Hey, Mike, hey, we miss you. He says, "The only thing better than Tarantino doing The Odyssey would be Zack Snyder." Actually, Zack would have done a good job with this. He would have understood the homework.
I actually agree with that completely.
Visually, would have been.
Not just visually. I think he would have totally understood it. He would have been like, "Oh, I get this. It's John Wick."
Look at what he did with 300. No,
yeah,
300.
Exactly. Thank you.
Look at what he did with 300.
And that's what sucks about Zack Snyder's. I used to love his shit. It was until Man of Steel and BBS is where he kind of went off the rails for me. But yeah. Because 300's great. I think he did look, Watchmen was almost an unadaptable film, and the fact that he was able to do it as well as he did tells me that yes, this guy can adapt shit, right? Like you give the guy the script, be like, "Here, do this." Especially if it's based on something like 300 or Watchmen, where he's already got the storyboards done for him. Perfect. But when you give him too much carte blanche to be able to go free and have him working with like fucking David S. Goyer and shit, that's where you get, yeah.
Right.
Sad part is he worked better with James Gunn, remember? Dawn of the Dead. I actually had to admit that was a semi-decent remake.
Yeah.
Not very many
film, man.
Yeah, not very many remakes you can say that about. Pack and Proton says, I wouldn't turn down Lupita, but not my type. Yeah. I kind of like the lead Wakanda warrior who wanted a Starbucks.
Oh, Denai. Oh, she's beautiful too. Yeah, she's in The Walking Dead. She plays Michonne in The Walking Dead.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely. And Andy Miller says for £2, line 366, book 9, Wilson, my name is no one.
I thought she said something else, but yeah, okay.
Again, I don't have it in front of me, so I can't say. But
I believe you if that's what you have it.
Yeah, I do believe that. Andy. I haven't seen.
I know she changed it, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then Andy Miller also says 2 nuns, me, and 5% of those in my screening knew Nolan inverted Homer to subvert. The DEI is all distraction, female victim, male guilt, same and toxic. Yeah, I think you know where I'm coming from, and where he's coming from.
I think it's.
I owe Andy a reply to his. He leaves great comments on our videos.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. And Tom, you said there were some Rumble rants as well.
There is. Let me grab them here because I didn't have Rumble open earlier.
We are now caught up on these on the YouTube side of things.
Thankfully, our mods grabbed them. So let me bring that up here. Where did it go? I just had it. Oh, that's the morning group, not the mod group. That helps. Oh, where's my mod group? I love how X is so discombobulated. I can't find anything. Where is it? Oh, for fuck's sake. Are you in the mod group, Andre?
Yeah, but I don't have it on my computer.
Shit. Well, for some reason, it's not in my thing here. Here it is. I got it. Okay.
Okay.
One
good.
Punch fan says, 4th attempt. Sing it, Andre. Stargate,
what
on.
this? What like the save
Stargate?
Save Stargate. I'll say it.
Save
But,
Stargate.
You can't carry a tune, Andre?
No,
No,
I
he
can't.
won't.
You can't.
One Punch fan says, seeing a third-rate team with Simu Liu is hard no for me. Sorry, it was really small for me to read.
Yeah, that's in reference to Avengers
The
Doomsday,
Avengers.
of course. Yeah.
And on that note, he also says, I will never forgive Simu Liu for the ending that French-Canadian couple bubble tea company because they are white. Anyway, you were to say something, Polly. Sorry.
No, I agree. I think he's total dud on film. He's got zero charisma, and it was just like, you know, who they showed in that trailer was just like there was just nothing.
It's not even the B team.
It was just terrible. Yeah,
it's like the D team.
Yeah.
But then Fundo Shijin is over on the Rumble side, and he sends in 10 smackaroos to say, Andre, to your point, I spent the trailer waiting to get chills, and nothing happened.
I got chills.
So it's like most women on dates. I gotcha. One Punch fan says to the panel, would watch 3 hours of Nolan C or 90 minutes of Supergirl again. I'd rather sit through Supergirl again. Yeah. No, I brought this up last night because I said the one thing at least Supergirl's got going for it is, regardless of how we feel about it, at least it's a coherent movie, and it's a better movie than the 1984 Supergirl. Yes, Helen Slater's a better Supergirl, but at least the movie's not as batshit crazy as that one. It's a movie. Is it good? Not really.
I disagree.
It's still a movie. It has an ABC point to it. Like, it's got an arc, no matter how much people want to defend it or say that it doesn't, and I don't want to defend it, but it does have a story.
It's a terrible film, man.
It is a terrible fucking movie. Don't get me wrong.
It's not even a decent little superhero film.
Did I say that? No. I just said it's a movie.
But hey, shut up. Let's move on.
Yeah. Moving on.
It is a movie. That's all I can say about it. And then One Punch fan says, I agree with Tom. Lupita is not going to launch any of my swimmers either.
Wow. Wow. She walks into a room that any of you guys are in, and your jaws will drop.
Maybe I don't know, but
yeah, I don't think we should discuss the attractability of professional actors in that particular way. Let's just say that her casting did not benefit the movie. How about that? Not because of anything she did wrong as an actor, but she was sacrificed to
just like that baby.
To do like some stunt casting. And she was sacrificed and she was thrown out there, and she has received a ton of flack and abuse for it that maybe she didn't deserve for taking on a role. But in my book, she wasn't qualified for taking on the role. But the problem here is ultimately Nolan, who cast her when he shouldn't have. But yeah. Did we have any more Rumble rants?
That was it for Rumble rants, but we did have another super chat that came in here. Andy Miller again. Says Dr. Scott Mason, YouTube video producer, video provides, Homer's 7 rules that have underpinned all education for all 2,700 plus years. No change needed now. Resist the barbarians. Yeah, that's the other thing that I kind of brought up in my X post. Yeah, that not in exact words, obviously, but kind of the whole point. You were saying something, Andre?
Yeah, no, I agree. Resist the barbarians. With that, though, if we are fully
unless it's Conan, then don't.
Well, he's also a barbarian. That if you are inside the city gates, he's a barbarian. You actually do want to resist.
Well, yes. Yeah, I meant just in general, but yeah. Pack and Proton says with $5, Supergirl's magic could be scary to kids in the 80s. It was just fucking stupid. And that's the other thing I brought up last night. I'm like, I'd like to actually see that 105-minute cut of that movie again, because for those who don't know, like the original version that was released in the US was only an hour and 45 minutes, and that version has not been available since video. The only version they've released has been the international cut ever since. So I'm curious if like some people also remember that version where they probably cut out most of the batshit craziness in the US version. But yeah, anyway, I haven't seen it, so I don't remember what the difference is. And it's been so long. But anyhow, that being said, Paulie, you got a book you're putting out.
Yeah, you do. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's out. It's out. And we got a great people are starting to put the reviews up, and we have a really great review. And it's again, it's 20 films we've covered. Some of them you might have heard, some of them maybe not. The whole thing is, if you're a cinema fan, I think you're going to get a lot out of this. We're very proud of it. It's starting to sell. Yes, it's all in English. The presentations, all in the movies are either in English or in Spanish. And we have no, these are just movies we cover. And that's our first official review. It takes forever for Amazon to approve reviews, which is fine. But again, that's my latest project. This is our first volume of many. So yeah, buy my book. Well, listen, man, I put it up. So there you go.
It's because you didn't call it Latink's film. That's why.
No, it's a Latino film.
I'm just saying that's why they won't approve it. Just joking.
We don't do that stuff. Yeah,
I'm joking.
But thank you guys for letting me.
Yeah, no problem. Check it out, guys. So you can find it on Amazon and Kindle. So there you go.
Yeah, it's Amazon Kindle exclusive for 90 days. There's a program you can select. Ooh. And what they have is that if you're like an Amazon membership, Kindle membership, like a monthly membership, you can read it for free, but you already have to be like, it's called Amazon Unlimited. Kindle,
kind of like with Audible, basically.
Right.
Credit, right.
Yeah. There are pictures in it. There's very little pictures. The pictures I was allowed to get, I talked to the filmmakers themselves. I can't put up an image of a studio movie. We're selling the book, so it's a whole nother level there, So yeah.
Check it out, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. And Andre, I'm sure we'll have a video in the next day or so. So
we will.
Sounds like you're working on something.
For that. Meantime, check out all the rest of the panelists. Check out your favorite YouTubers. And with that, let's bring on the koalas in the rain.
And don't forget Midnight's Edge After Dark too.
Koalas in the rain. Koalas in the rain. No fucks given. Koalas in the rain. Given koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given, koalas.